Warning: all stories could be completely made up, and we have no way to confirm that. Any and all names mentioned in the show are most likely fake. We at Campfire Moto Stories are not journalists and should not be considered as much. If you're offended by anything said or shown in this episode, we don't care, but we encourage you to voice your opinion so we can laugh at the fact that you can't control your emotions. This program contains full language, and I recommend no one to watch or listen to this.
The views and opinions expressed in the program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the sponsor, any advertisers, or the sponsor's affiliates, employees, or partners.
Coming to you live from the Claremont Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia, it's Campfire Moto Stories.
Hey everyone, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. I'm Anthony Bennett. I'm thrilled to have you join us today for our live show. This YouTube show / podcast is all about sharing amazing motorcycle stories from everyday riders like you. Whether it's an epic ride, funny mishap, or an unforgettable adventure, we want to hear it all. Today, we have some fantastic guests in the studio who we'll introduce in just a moment. Dive into their riding stories, plus we have exciting segments lined up, including interviews, Billy's tech tips, spotlight a stolen bike, and stories sent in by youth, website and or phone. At 8:30 sharp, we'll open the phone lines and give our live viewers a chance to call in and share their own. Lastly, you'll get to hear an awesome story from my 5-year-old son about riding. May or may not be. Hey, 5-year-old can tell a great story, so can you. Don't forget, you can earn entries into our YZ250 giveaway by participating in the show. Check out campfiremotostories.com for all the official rules, and by participating in any way, shape, or form, indicate that you've read the official rules, our terms. Let's get it started.
Another lap around the wall, another request, another call. All I hear, I can't reply. I feel the strain, I fall behind, I sacrifice my precious time. All I ever get is everything I so straight.
Hey, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. I'm Anthony Bennett, your host. I have a good friend of mine, Coleman Owens, in studio. But before we get into our banter, because we're just a bunch of goofballs, I actually have something that's kind of serious that I want to talk about. And if I was prepared, I would have had it pulled up for us, ready to go. But I'm an amateur at this, so just deal with it. Actually, not in here where it's supposed to be. This is off to an awesome start. Oh, this is great. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Okay. So I want to share a very important story with you about a brave young boy named Fisher Medler, an avid off-road racer who is currently battling a severe health challenge. Fisher is just 11 years old, started experiencing severe headaches, and was ultimately diagnosed with multiple brain tumors. He and his family have been going through an incredible tough time, with Fisher undergoing treatments and surgeries, including brain surgery, and they are now temporarily living near St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis for ongoing care. Stu Baylor and many well-known members of the motorcycle community have all stepped up to help Fisher, and the off-road racing community has been rallying around this incredible boy. His friends and family have been organizing fundraiser events like bracelets and t-shirt sales to support him, and we want to help lift Fisher's spirits to show him the strength of the motorcycle community. I'm asking all of you to send Fisher stickers, dirt bike memorabilia, or any other item that might bring a smile to his face. You can send these to his parents, Belandra and Jace Medler. They're at 1812 Polar Avenue, room 225 in Memphis, Tennessee, 38104. And I'm going to put that up in just a little bit so that you guys can see that again. Additionally, please keep an eye out for any more fundraisers organized by his family, or consider donating to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital or directly to the family. So let's come together to support Fisher and his family during this challenging time. And I thank you in advance for any support you can provide for that. So, hey, Coleman.
Hey.
I kind of sprung that one on you. I told you, I was like, hey, I got something serious I'm going to talk about at the beginning, and then we're going to get into it. But I didn't want to tell you what it was just because it's it's just such a shitty
That is.
thing to deal with. I mean, everybody in this world has had a family member that they love and care about deal with it, and
Yep.
when it comes to a young child, it's just
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know.
my dad he had a battle with colon cancer last year, and he luckily came through real well, and he's doing well from it. But
Right off the bat, I mean, that's something that kind of dear to my heart too. Being I'm a survivor myself. I mean, my story
yeah,
on that, and I beat it myself as a young kid. So definitely I can understand what he's going through and what the family's going through.
yeah, it was kind of interesting. I'm in a Facebook group called Everything Dirt, and I had seen a few things pop up recently in the past few weeks, and I was like, looked into it. What is this about? And reached out to his parents and was like, hey, I'd love to share this guy's situation on there and hopefully you can get it. But it's incredible what they've been sent. I mean, they've sent Carmichael jerseys. I mean,
Man.
people have made custom jerseys for him. Honda HRC has sent him and his family T-shirts.
Memories for a lifetime. For that
Dude,
kid.
he is just, when they have the pictures with him, with everything, he completely forgets about everything he's going through with it and just thinks it's awesome. So,
Good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Good calls.
all right. So, we're going to get into some of our fun stories and how we met and all that stuff. So, do you remember the time frame it was that we met? I think it was around 2013.
Yeah, out there.
It was at a Sorks race. I know
Yep.
that. I was riding to a lot of the Sorks race with Doug and Sam Stallknocker, like just carpool into the races, and we kind of linked up that way. You were buddies with Doug, I believe.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
and then we found out we worked in the same industry,
Yep.
and we got the bullshit, and you actually had done some work at the location I was working at the
Yep,
time.
Yep.
And then cut to a few years later, I'm going to more Sorks races, and you're
Yep.
hanging with the Woolies crew and RJ and all them. And
Wow. 2013.
it had to be around
Wow.
2013,
Yeah. Well, I remember that because
2012.
I remember that is about the time that I actually started racing dirt bikes. Old buddy guy I met out in the woods, one of those things. I was at Durham Town, rode a couple days with the guy, and he was like, "Man, have you ever tried any of this? Ever tried racing hare scrambles?" I was like, "What you talking about?" And I was like, "Man, yeah." So I remember, I think the first race I did, I was, let's see, 40, 41.
That was the first race you did?
Yeah,
Ever?
I mean, I raced BMX when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
I had a little bit of that, but I had never done nothing like that. But I was an avid rider. I rode like every weekend. But I had an old 07 CRF 450 that I had this old guy, if a lot of y'all might be listening, you might remember a guy named Larry Dukes.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah, his son Sean. and
yeah,
all of
yeah,
them.
yeah, man. The guy used to do all kind of work, man, in the day. And other buddy of mine I used to ride with, man, you take your bike over to Larry Dukes. He'd do your suspension up, get you fixed up. I was like, yeah, took it over there. And so it was a lot plusher, a lot nicer. And so I started riding more. And that was the first bike I ever raced. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of the first races I did before its Sorks race was I went to a, what was that thing called? It was called Shootout. New Year's Eve, like a New Year's shootout.
Like at Highland Park?
No, it was over at over there and where we did the 24-hour Perry Mountain.
Oh, Perry Mountain. Yeah.
It was over there. And I was like, well, let me go over and try that. Man, I don't know what I was thinking, but man, I got kind of hooked. So then the first race I raced with Sorks was like late 2012. Yeah, it was late 2012. I went and raced. It was Tennessee. What's the one they don't go to anymore up there? Go up there.
The one that was called like asphalt, urban asphalt or something.
Urban Assault.
Urban Assault. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I think we went there.
Hampsonite. I was way off.
Yeah, and I was like, I was doing pretty good. I remember I was like, okay, 40C class. I signed up. Old boy that I knew, man, a guy named Robert Questenberry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I met that told me I ought to try that stuff when I met him out at Durham Town. And I kid you not, man, I went doing pretty good, and I'll never forget, it was like next to last lap. Didn't have no hand guards. Nothing. I was totally unprepared. One of those guys. I just showed up. Oh, race that dirt bike.
Motocross suspension.
Yeah, no, I'd already
You
had it
actually had
done.
wood suspension.
Dukes
Okay.
had already done got a hold of
All
the
right.
bike. So I was like, all right, I'll never forget, man. I come bebopping around a tree. You know, you get cocky, you start riding pretty good. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Next thing I know, pip, 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 oh shit, here we go. Hit a tree, broke the front brake lever. I probably had a stub left about that much.
That's all you need.
Yeah, well, I could barely get my finger on the thing, so I had to do it. Well, anyway, I ended up finishing like 10th place
Not bad.
out of that. So I think I went to one more. I can't remember where it was. And I got up. Next one, I remember when Eddie and Tammy started that winter series. They
Okay.
started
Yeah,
it
yeah.
right there at the very end of
That was
2012.
that was around.
Yep.
That. Yeah.
And that's it.
2013.
That's where
Yeah.
I was leading to. And then that was at the begin right there. Remember, it was in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
And it raced end of November,
Yep.
December, and it was a short. It's like 5 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I started. I met Doug and them, and they were riding out at Highland Park, and he brought his son Sam out, and we all started really talking. And that's when I remember first meeting you, and that was the first time I'd ever raced a series. So I raced those 5 races, and I'll never forget. All these other guys knew. And probably a lot of y'all out there know this old girl named Michelle Blystone. Okay, 1L. Okay, man, now this chick can ride. Okay, she good rider. I ain't have no idea. You know, I just met her at Highland Park a couple times. Well, she could get down. I was like, man, there's no way this chick is riding a bike like this. I was like, okay, all right. So Robert and her were friends. And Robert says, you ought to come and race the men's C class and show him what you made of. So this chick shows up for that winter series at 2013, man. And she races the men's class, 40C. And I kid you not, when her bike would be on the line, there'd be some guys show up to be like, oh, they don't even know what they're about to go down here. Man, that chick raced me so hard that winter. I we went back and forth. We were both about the same speed, but I bet I ended up getting 3rd in the series that for 40C.
Did she beat you?
I beat her by, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 2 or 3 points. I barely beat her. I couldn't get beat by a girl.
I'm not gonna lie. As you're telling this story, I was like, he's gonna say he's gonna get beat, and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck, show's over. Get out, out."
Hell no. That's what all the guys they'd make fun of me. Go, man, you gonna let a girl outride your ass, ain't you? I was like, oh man, y'all shouldn't say that shit to me. But hey man, I give her credit. She's and a lot of, if there's anybody out there, listen, they know her. If they call in later, I'm telling you, man, if you know her, man, she can get down. She's a boot scooting. I mean, she can ride.
She can boot scoot and boogie.
Yep. She can do it all. But I mean, it was just funny because I remember there was another guy that I just never could catch. Became like you do with everybody that you compete with. You next thing you know, you're like this dude. You're like, who the hell is this guy just beating my brakes
By the end of the
off?
series, your buddies
and
with
you're
him.
like your friends. And that guy was he won that year. His name was Scott Templin.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, Scott. Me and him got to be real good friends. That guy right there, he's a card. You know, just meeting people like that, and that's what happened is, and then I raced for solid like what 2013 to up until like 2 years ago when I gave up my company and decided to sell out.
Your boss. Just say your boss.
Yeah.
Actually, Alex Boomer already said it. I heard Coco's scared to get back to racing. So he's already talking shit in the chat on you. So.
Oh, Boomer.
Well, you know what? That motherfucker hasn't raced or ridden in how long?
He ain't got
you raced sooner than him. So
yeah.
Boomer, sit down.
Yeah, I was about to say, hold on a second. I had a little bit of change in life, new job, new career.
Like transitioning?
Yeah,
to a different career. Oh, to a
career.
different
Yeah, no,
okay.
nothing like that. You know, I mean, you see my wife?
Yeah.
And then got remarried. So I've had a lot going on, but I am getting back to it. But I have kept the streets hot. I have rode a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
you've done a bunch of. We'll get into the cross country stories here in a little bit, but yeah. So, but we went off a tangent there. But I was just talking about because I think it's pretty funny how we kind of just I feel like you said, you naturally kind of you link up with somebody, then you got some stuff in common. Then hey, let's go ride Highland this one time or go Durhamtown this one other time, and then next thing you know, you guys are good friends. And then I also when I found out you were in a similar industry, I ended up finally getting you on board, and you got to do some vendor work for me. So that was kind of cool. And then, and this is, I wanted to bring up how close we've gotten since then. So tell me what happens. Explain this vision to me.
Oh Lord. Oh now my sister asks, I told her I was coming here tonight. She goes, "Is that guy from the wedding?" I was like, yeah.
I'm dancing with your sister,
Look
and
at,
she rejects me. So I take off my shirt
I mean, all my friends were looking
and
at
I grab your mom,
Oh, I know. My mom was like, "Who in the hell is this guy?"
and then it got pretty. It got dirty on the dance floor. Here we go. Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I can't.
And then look at her. She just look at that. Look what your mom's doing to me. She's spanking my butt. Look, you're dying laughing in the corner. You're over here.
Oh, my chiropractor back there looking like, oh, hell. Oh, no. I can't believe you did that. My sister, she was like, for days after the wedding, she'd be like, "Who was that guy that was there at the wedding?"
With the long, luscious
she
hair.
goes,
I had
"Look
long hair.
That
then.
is, look at you, man.
Yeah.
I forgot you had them damn Goldilocks there. Look at you.
So actually, I had the long hair in my early 20s. I would grow it out for every 2 years. I'd cut it all off and donate to Locks of Love. And I'd grow it back out for 2 years and do it again. And then I just got out of it when I went into like a corporate world type of setting.
Oh,
So
man.
I went to go do the work from home job, and I was like, "Babe, I think I'm gonna grow my hair out again." And she's like, yeah, okay. So I got about a few weeks after your wedding, she's like, "Yeah, hey, so are you gonna cut your hair?" I was like, "That's like the third time you've mentioned it. I thought you were cool with it." She's like, "Yeah, I was when you said it, and
But
then
not anymore.
I saw you with the long hair."
It's like,
Yeah, she wasn't into it.
well, I think that's an age thing too. But hey, props
Yeah.
to you. You could grow long hair. I never was able to grow hair like that.
You know, I got into some hot water with my wife on your wedding night. I came home and I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I danced with Coleman's mom and his sister." I was like, "She's like mid-50, mid-40. How old is your sister?"
My sister is actually 52. Today is her birthday.
Oh, happy
if
birthday.
you're listening there,
You're gonna
happy
show her this, I'm
birthday.
sure. So I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I danced with Coleman's sister. She's like 50, but she's pretty damn good looking." She's like, "Oh yeah,
I just know she didn't.
yeah, she's pretty good looking." I was like, "Yeah, but she's like 50," and she's like, "Yeah, so what? That ain't that much older than you." And I was like, "Damn, yeah, I guess you're right." Like, yeah, so if you ever leave me, I guess I know where I'm
I
going.
guess I'm going
So
cougar.
we could be brothers-in-law at some point. So
Hey,
she
now.
ditches me.
Uh,
Hey, we could be family, bro.
Up, yeah. We going to break. Oh my God, what am I going to do with you, man?
Yeah. All right. Then another funny little thing from our past is tell me what you experienced in this moment while you were racing.
Oh Lord, this is my GoPro. Look at, well, I heard you coming, and I was like, somebody's coming pretty hot. I was like, I'm gonna let them go, and then I'll get back in it. And I seen you because I seen you before the race with that on. I said, oh my God, Bennett lost the race. I guess he lost it bet between Fawcett or Frazier or something.
Yeah. Here it goes.
Well,
Right
look
there.
at
No,
I
Pink
was
suit
like,
and all.
no way. You know, there's a certain theme, I think, with you and the girly type stuff with that and some of the things you choose to wear at some of these other events that you go to.
Look, here's the thing that started the tutu. I don't like betting money.
Yeah.
I'd rather bet something that's going to embarrass somebody or it's just going to be
I
funny
get it.
for other people. So anytime it's a bet, it's like a son of a bitch. I just lost a pink tutu bet to Mark Anthony this past weekend at Redbud. I said Brock Tickle will get 10th or better. And he got 10th or less, and Brock Tickle got fucking 13th. So I got the next ride that I come back after my knee
after
surgery.
his knee gets better.
I got to wear a fucking pink tutu. First ride back.
Oh, Lord, already got one in the hole.
Yep.
Oh,
So
man.
he's pretty happy about that.
That one was a pretty good day.
That was a fun race.
It was a very fun race.
That was a good course, too. That was in Kingston, right?
Yeah, and that was 22 is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only put in a couple more races. I finished that season out right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and
that
then the
sounds right.
summer came.
Yep.
And then I started a new job in September.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I can't go back. Man, going to a new job, coming here banged
You
up,
can do
hurt.
it now. You've been there.
Oh
almost,
yeah,
too.
now I've been there, but I was like, I need to get in here and get my feet wet. I mean, I was done moved up to, I was like, but I want to go back. I want to go back this fall. I want to give her a whirl. I want to try that. I want to try a couple different series. I want to get my feet wet again.
Yeah.
I want to get back out there. There's a couple guys I'd like to back out there and bang bars with.
Yeah, actually, do you know how I lost the pink tutu bet with that one? Because there was actually a few pink tutu bets that.
Yes. Now I don't recall. Why don't you refresh my memory how this went
All right.
down?
So in the chat, James likes to call me the little dude. I'm like 5'9". I'm average. I'm average height. If you Google average height for a male, I'm 5'9". It's average. But that includes Asian men. But we're not gonna go down that path. But
Oh.
I'm just saying, I'm average. All right. Anyways, so somehow I was like, am I the shortest one in this group? And then because Ben
you ended
Fricks is in there and a bunch of other people, and I was like, is Ben
Frick?
taller than me? And that's what the bet was. If Ben was taller than me, that's all it was. So Ben wasn't supposed to be at that race. I brought the pink tutu because Jason McKenzie,
Yep.
him and his brother Sean. So Jason, I was the previous, 2 rounds before then. I was just being a smartass, and I was like, hey, next race, 25 points, stamp it. And he's like, what? I was like, bet it. I'm getting 25 points at the next race. I'm telling you now. And he's like, okay. I was like, you want to put a bet on? He's like, yeah. I was like, pink tutu the next race. He's like, I'll make that deal. We shook hands, and I worked the next race.
I figured, I was like, oh, you didn't see that
You
coming.
get 25 points for it. I didn't say I was going to win.
Didn't say how you was getting
So I brought the pink tutu for him to wear.
it. Yeah.
This motherfucker shows up with a pink tutu on his wrist. And he goes, I said, hey, I got the pink tutu for you. He goes, no. I brought my own. I was like, oh, he's like, you got me on a stipulation? I got you on a stipulation.
Oh,
He said, you didn't say I had to wear it around my waist or what size. I was like, you know what? I shook his hand. I said,
lesson learned.
I'm the king at twisted words and bullshit like that. Like everybody,
But he
I'd say
got you.
something, people got to be like, read through the lines, read through what he's saying. And then, yeah, he got
you.
Yeah, he got me good.
That's
But then
good.
Ben shows up, and then we back to back, and I'm like, well, fuck, put it on.
So that's how.
That's why I was wearing the race that weekend.
I
It's the dumbest bets is
I know,
what it comes
but
down to.
You mean you lost old skid plate, man? You can't. Damn.
Oh, it's kid plate.
I was wondering if you was going to catch that right there.
I'm the one that started the
Oh,
skid
yeah.
plate thing.
Old Ben
Yeah,
and his skid
because
plate.
that was at oh god, I want to say it was like Ren's or one of the races. What's the name the race that JP Kid's family owns? JP Bowser.
Oh, that.
So at that race, he lost a skid
some
plate.
swamp or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it's just every single lap, it was in the worst spot where I just, no matter where I went, I just, ding,
Boom.
and I could feel it hit. So after the race was over, I posted a picture like, hey, or I just posted a comment in Source. And I was like, hey, I don't know whose skid plate that was, but I'm not saying I purposely was trying to avoid it. I'm just saying I hit it every lap, so don't even go back to get it. And then Ben messages me, and he's like, hey, that was my skid plate.
Whoops.
So since then, all the time we were making ugga-dugga jokes to him. I've actually had to install a skid plate like 3 weeks later, and I had JB Weld mixed up, and I was like, hey, Ben, I made a little video. I was like, this is how you install them, and put JB Weld on my nuts, and just like 20 ugga-duggas. And then I backed him off and wiped it off.
I remember, man. They piled in on him. Now that's a cat that he got in there, man. He got really fast.
Shit, he won a B-class GNCC.
Yeah, and that ain't no slouch class. You know,
Yeah.
but old Ben's young though, man. He young rubber band. Them young
Mhm.
cats can get down like that.
Yeah.
I'm a little older. I don't bounce back as quick.
Shit, me either these days. I go down once, I'm out for a freaking year, it seems like. I don't go down too often, but it's like when I do it right.
That was the same thing for me. I had such good luck for so long out there riding. Now I did break my wrist, but not riding. That was a work thing. That held me up for a little while. But now I will say I did mess my knee up out there one time. I did have a pretty bad wreck. I got metal and plate in the knee right here. Tibula plateau fracture, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that. Oh yeah.
yeah.
I got one, but I still need to get that kind of fixed. It's not as
Yeah,
good as-
mine, I broke it twice in the same year, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, it'll be all right." I was like, "I'll break it again. I'll see you in a few months." He was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah, but well, that's one thing you can't have fun at this sport if you ain't going to be willing to hit the
No,
dirt.
it's part of it,
Yeah.
but and I mean, some people I know get pretty lucky and they don't have hardly any injuries. But
Well, I did good for a long time, man. Just right there towards it was when I started moving up in the classes and you started getting faster and
Yeah.
faster. I was like, oh man, and you know, sometimes you know when you're on the ragged edge.
Yeah.
You're just you have several of them snap moments when you're riding. So you're like, oh, you don't think about it. You dwell on it.
yep.
You're going to wreck within the next few minutes. Anybody else busting chops?
Just your wife's dying laughing. I think about hearing me dancing or bring up memories about dancing with your sister.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Yeah, that one. My mother though, I forgot my mother grabbed your butt.
Yeah, that made me feel weird, but like in a good way.
It did me too, and you sprung
Yeah.
that on me on the show. I
mean,
was like,
I made sure not to tell you I was going to do this.
I
But-
figured that much.
But
I
you
was
should have
like,
known it was
oh,
coming.
I knew something from your ass was coming. I was like, I'm going over here tonight with a sideline village people person.
So also, you we had a good time with you managing the 24-hour race. Was it 2023? I've done it about 4 or 5 times now.
You know, because it's already passed. Yes, I
It
think
was
last year.
previous year
Yes,
because I couldn't
yes.
do it this last year because of blew my knee out. But
That's right.
Previous year, you were.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was a fun time. You were a lot of help with that, making us all organized, knowing the lap times, who's coming around.
Helping stuff, cooking food,
Yep.
hanging out,
Yeah,
man.
damn good cook.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, man. I like that. That's
Your mama
fun.
taught you well.
Yeah.
I'll tell her that tonight when I get over there.
Oh shit. We'll have a talk at break. No, that's a fun event.
Have you done the 24-hour yourself?
Only thing I've done is I've been there twice with y'all. I've went over there to hang out.
Yep.
Remember the first year I come over there the summer before, and I
Yeah.
come over and I hang out.
And I was like, you got to come be our manager.
yeah, I
next
was
year.
like, yep, and you did. So I came over there. But that's an amazing event right there to go to.
So cool.
I mean, there's nothing else like a 24-hour dirt bike race. People think I'm crazy. I've told them about that before. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, man, they got this race down south, down in Alabama. And I said, it's the only one like that. Matter of fact, there's a guy that's on YouTube. We'll give a shout out to him. Scooter Tramp Scotty. If you ever watch his videos, he's an old guy. He's got an older, I think he's got like a late 80s Harley. He travels all
late
around.
80s Harley?
Yeah, and it's one he can fix himself. Listen, man, the man lives on the road. Okay, lives in a tent or this or that. He's always find stuff. You ought to try to look his stuff up, man. That guy right there.
So he raced an old Harley at
No, he
24
didn't race
Oh,
it.
okay.
What he did was, what I was getting to is he was down in this area in the South, and he just happened to be riding in the middle, and he always likes to go off in these faraway places, just ride all over. Well, this sucker ended up finding the dirt bike race, the Perry Mountain race, the 24-hour. He comes pulling in on one of his videos, and he's talking to the guy, and one of the guys working the gate recognizes him, who he is, and says, man, I got a spot just for you, puts him up for free, gives him a site, everything, and he puts it out there. And he was like, I didn't know they had a dirt bike race for 24 hours. Man, this
They
is
do a
something
few
else.
of them.
I know, and I've only heard of this one.
There's
down
one up
here.
in the Northeast somewhere that 24 hours at Glen Helen. I'd love to go do that. At some
Well,
point.
yeah, yeah.
I can't remember. One of the guys that was on my team the year before you came out, he had done that one up north. But I feel like the Alabama one is just nice with, I mean, it's close for us being in Atlanta area. But it's got a bit of everything. And you know, one thing that I do really like about the 24-hour trails is it's not, I don't want to say it's not as challenging because they got a few gnarly hill climbs, but it's a little bit wider. And I feel like they make it that way so that people can pass. I really don't like the ones where you just got to tiptoe around. Like, I want to carry a little bit of speed.
Well, there's also over there in Perry Mountain over there at Reynolds Farm, boy, a lot of that stuff is bowl. You ever notice a lot of trails you race like that? They're just like bowled, man. You just crank it through there.
Kind of use the sidewalk.
Yeah, you
to
can
get
use
through
it. You can just go through there. But yeah, that place is an amazing place. and especially for them to put a 10 or 12-mile course together. I mean, it's really nothing but more of a long dirt bike race during the day, but when the night comes, and it transitions from day to night, that's when it gets cool. Walking up and down pit road,
it gets hairy when it in between the two, like in between dusk and dawn, man.
Yes,
you
the shadows and the reflections in the woods, man. That
once it goes dark,
yes,
it's awesome.
Yes, yeah. And I think a lot of guys started learning in the dryness over there. Man, those high, bright lights, you don't want, man, a good yellow light cuts through that dust.
Fog light. Yeah.
Man, a good fog light cuts through that dust way better than any spotlights, all that shit. You see these guys come out there with these massive battery packs, look like, God dang, the sun coming down through there, and you're like, you don't really need all that, dude.
I do think you do need a good headlight, and I hate the fact that they changed that rule for that year. The year before, you could do it just at night.
That's right.
And then your year, it was none at all.
That's
they
right.
said if you had anything at all, you had to get rid of it. I even thought about like 3D printing goggles that have like a GoPro attachment because the light's usually attached to like a GoPro attachment. And it was like, if it's on your head at all, it's gone. I'm like, but that should be a loophole because it's not on your helmet. It's on your goggles kind of thing. But I tell you, there was at one point, it was 3 a.m., and I'm rolling through those. There's one set of well-known rollers. They use it every year. And somebody had taken a vine, and I just couldn't see it through my light. But if I had a headlight on, I would have seen it. It grabbed my visor back, and I tell you what, I thought for a second I broke my neck because my whole body just tingled.
Did you let go of the bike? Or
no, I held on to it at all.
Snap the visor?
No, it just yanked me back. So, I mean, I don't think I've ever had my head yanked back so hard because I had no idea it was coming. It just snapped my back like that.
Neck brace on?
No, I didn't have that time. Okay. But, yeah, at that point, I was like, man, if I would have had a headlight on, I would have seen that. So people can say, it's for all the political reasons about the insurance because they need AMA, and this is AMA rule, and AMA helps with insurance and all that stuff. So I understand it.
All that happened, I think, because of that kid that got hurt or died or whatever. One of those races or something.
And it's unfortunate those things happen, but
and they said they blamed it on whatever, the GoPro mount or something on there. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to make rules to make everything as safe as you want.
It's motorcycle racing.
Well, even cars.
Yeah, it's accidents going to happen.
Yep.
You're going to wreck. I don't care who you are. You race for any amount of time, you're going to take soil samples.
Yeah, but what's interesting when they did that rule, it went from being sold out early to not being filled. Did you notice that for 23? I didn't look at the entries for 24, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if that's a headlight rule. I don't know for sure, but it's just that was the only thing that changed from the year before. It went from being sold out previous years to that.
You're right. You did. Good. That's a working
I appreciate
theory.
you saying that because I don't ever get to hear that in my house at all.
What's that?
You're right. You're married, you know.
Well, I might try to stand up, but
hey, your wife's watching. Whatever you're about to say, your wife's watching. So
that don't bother me.
No. So you fuck now. I ain't scared of her.
No. Oh, I am.
You So one of the, I didn't want to go down this path, but I know you've got a funny story about this, and it happened to me when I was talking about racing at 3 a.m. That same before I snapped my head back. No, that was the previous year actually. I'm glad you were cooking that year because the previous year my buddy Joe was cooking, who was on the show last time. Hilarious show. If anybody didn't get a chance to go back and watch the show, you can go back and watch it anytime.
Yeah.
Funny as hell. But there's a lot of shit talk on there, and I know I don't want that to be about the show at all, but tell you what, he made us some sausage, some deer sausage, I believe, and I came about halfway through the second lap, my stomach's gurgling, and I was like, oh man, I think I'm not going to make the third lap. I'm going to have to pull off and take care of some business. And I was like, about right before the checker, my stomach felt good. And I was like, all right, I'm cleared up. About a mile later, I was like, right back to it. And I was like, oh no.
Oh,
and once you start a lap, you can't stop.
Nope.
I just had to pull over. They had little hunting stands about mile marker 2 that was there. I just had to. Yeah.
It's happened to all of us.
I had to do and get back on it. It was the gnarliest feeling ever. I don't know if you've ever had to just do what you had to do in the middle of a race, and you got teammates on you. You can't let your teammates down.
Well, going back to old girl there, Michelle, old 1L, man, one time, man, we that was back during the hot days. That was back, about 2014. We was at a national enduro. She goes, I'm going to spank your ass today, Coleman. I'm going to beat the brakes off you. She can ride some tight shit. So I kid you not. She pretty much, I done been guilty. And I slowed up because the same thing. I had all of a sudden, bloop. I was like, oh no. And I already got a shortcut anyway. I was like, no. And I was fighting it. You're sitting there. So you're like, you feel it and you're like, oh man, I started brown capping. I was like, oh no. I mean,
Prairie dogging.
yeah, man, that sucker playing peekaboo. And I was like, oh no. So I done backed off of it and I knew I wasn't going to catch her because I was just like, dude, I didn't relinquish. I was like, I'm fixing to shit my pants. So I kid you not, I come around this turn and you know how they like to leave the logs or trees across the trail. And man, I was like, oh, that's fucking great. Bam, bam, I hit it and I didn't stand up because I didn't want to come off the seat and release the pressure that was holding it in. And I come up a little bit and the damn seat said, bam, and it bumped me in the ass. And when it did, oh shit. I mean, it was like, you're shitting right now. I was like, oh hell, oh listen, man, I pulled over. Look, I didn't have time to put the kickstand down. I just hit the kill switch and laid this sumbitch down on the side. I mean, literally, I got up and I was like undoing my shit, and I was like, oh God, and I mean, I literally run behind these damn bushes and drop down. I realized at that point, man, I didn't have nothing to wipe my ass with. I didn't have.
Please
nothing.
tell me you didn't grab poison ivy on accident.
No. I said, well, by this point, I was like, she's already beat me. They're already going to beat the shit out of me and talk shit to me. So I was like, fuck it. I took my boot off and I just pulled off my fucking moto sock. Had to pull one leg out, like you in the jailhouse, man, when you pull your one leg out your britches like that. I had to pull one out and swab off, take care of business like that. Oh boy, I know, Ken Brooks and his wife Dixie, man, they always remember that. He nicknamed me One Sock. So when I got to the end of the race, man, there was probably we was going to the last checkpoint. We get there, she's got about 3 or 4 people around. Questenberry standing there. What the fuck happened to you, man? She beat the brakes off of you, man. I was like, listen, guys, here's what happened. I said, man, I had a brown capping incident. I had to stop and shit. And that's just all there is to it. Oh, that's bullshit, man. She just beat the brakes off of you, man. She just whooped your ass. I said, I swear to God, look at the times, man. Check them out. And I was like, man, I took so much shit on the ride home.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, dude, I mean, and I'm looking at it. And the motherfucker driving the truck looking over at me. Yeah, had to take shit, huh? I was like, yeah, I did. I had to shit, dude. I did. I swear to God. Look, one fucking sock. See? What do you think I did? Stopped in the middle of racing, pull my boot off, pull the sock off.
Use it as an excuse.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Come on, man. Oh, yeah, I never lived that one down. Now that you brought that up there. And so you said it couldn't help it, man. Brought up my Dookie incident.
Well, it's too funny not to talk about.
It isn't, man. There's something funny as hell.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ever had to pee during a race. It was like 08 in an 07, 08 in an FTR race. No, it would have been 06. I moved to Georgia in 07. And I'm in like fighting it. And I finally got into this big old grass section that usually just be ripping through it, kind of nice S section. I'm kind of like, nobody's around. I didn't stop. I just wiggled it down, hung my little worm off the side, did what I needed to do.
Just kind of keep moving.
And just kind of did like a leg spread to get the pants back around.
Up, yeah.
Dude, I felt like I was just hauling ass at that point. Like I felt like I had just started the race and I was an hour and a half into it.
Dude.
It's amazing what that'll do for you.
Oh God, man, I'm telling you, wait till you get a lot older, man. You got that, man, where you got to pee a lot like old man. Man, bam, boom, boom, boom.
You're supposed to milk the prostate or something like that.
It's so nasty, boy, nasty. But
hey,
yeah.
So one thing you had mentioned a few times now is where'd it go? My picture's not pulling up.
Technical difficulties on the set.
I'm new. I don't know what to do. Why is this not opening?
Wow. Has your employer checked your computer credentials?
What's stupid is
I can't say shit.
I wonder if I need to close this down and then it'll let me open a picture. is.
I have to say, man, I am impressed with the studio. I
It's
like
pretty
it.
legit.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. For some reason, it wouldn't open with just the regular photo things. Maybe I can't reset it now. We got a live show
Oh,
going on.
Oh,
But
there we go.
let me open it with paint. So tell me about this, because your buddy Robert, he's right there in the middle.
Yeah.
He passed away recently, and I know
Yeah.
you guys had some incredible stories, and you guys have had just because it seems like you only knew each other about maybe 10 years before.
Yeah.
But you got a
Uh,
lifetime of memories. is what it
Yes.
sounds
Yeah.
like.
Um,
So who's on this picture? What was this picture? What was this riding event? Tell me about it a little bit.
Well, let's start to the right there. On the right hand side, that's Grayson Hunt. Everybody know Grayson. Grayson also got training by Grayson.
Yep.
Throwing a little prompt from a buddy there. He wanted to go. He heard all the stories right there. That's Robert Questenberry in the center, the older guy. He's got his hand around his son. His son had been there quite a few times as he was growing up. He finally brought him back, and he got to ride the big bike with us. There's me. And then right there, that's Adam Scheffler right there. And then that's Matt Chester on the outside. This picture was taken up on the Hatfield-McCoy Trail System up in West Virginia. If I'm not mistaken, that is the Buffalo Mountain Trail System out of Matewan. 3 towns actually border this. This system it's about 100 miles of trails, and it's got the best single track out of anything up there in West Virginia. At the time, they got some new stuff opening up there soon. But this trip here was a great trip. This was probably, I done it this time here. I think this was 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. We went up there. Matt had heard there. Usually it was just me and Robert and maybe another buddy of mine, Tyler.
So you guys have done this a few times.
Oh, we'd already done this. This was an annual thing where we went every spring. We'd go springtime and the fall,
Okay.
always every year. And every time we'd come back, we'd always tell stories, and somebody be like, "Man, I won't go with y'all on that. Y'all sound like y'all had a good time."
Yeah.
So
That's kind of how the 24-hour race has been
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
But yeah, got to know him. He was a great friend of mine. A lot of memories with him. He's actually the guy I was talking about that I ran into.
That got you into racing?
Yeah, he actually got me into race, told me about it. And he's the guy that I ran into out there in Durham Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually funny. I was in a hot argument with a friend of mine. He rode 4-wheelers at the time because he's too
So he was
lazy.
wrong.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. He 4-wheeler rider. Well, anyway, I took him down this trail out there. He didn't want to ride. Well, long and short, man, he racked himself up, busted his nuts. He weigh about. He said, "I don't want to go down that fucking trail like that." I said, "Come on, Russell, let's go, man. Come on, man. Come on, fat man, let's ride." So I used to just give him hell. Well, something happened. He got jacked up, and he clipped a tree with the right front tire, smacked the thing, man. I mean, he was about to throw up. He come out of the woods. We were right there at Kenny's Hills where we came out at. We were down there, and we were having a massive, like, bro bitch session. And he was cussing me, and I was cussing his ass. And him and a buddy of his was parked behind us. We didn't really recognize him, and they were just laughing. And I was like, "I'm sorry, man." He goes, "Oh, no. Y'all keep on going, man. Y'all keep going. I'm having too good of time listening to y'all shit." And I mean, we were motherfucking each other, bitch talking. He was like, I was like, "If you'd lose some fucking weight, you fat son of a bitch. That's why you broke your damn nuts, and you always want to bitch at me. You took me down that trail on purpose, motherfucker, because you wanted me to wreck this son of a bitch." I said, "I can't help it. Your fat ass can't drive that damn thing, man." And anyway, so he hears us arguing and cussing each other, talking like that. And he said, "Anybody talk to each other like that, I got to be friends with." So that's how I ended up meeting that son of a bitch.
That's great.
And I had 10 years worth of stories with this guy.
Yeah.
He was his own dude. He was a shit stirrer. He could get under your skin. Just like everybody's got their quirks. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
You get around somebody long enough,
around
you
anybody long enough,
you're going to figure a quirk or two they got.
Yeah.
But you got to learn to look through that shit on a lot of people. Everybody's got that.
Oh, yeah.
But he was one of those guys. He was just cool. He always got me outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
He
like
always
that.
pushed me to go.
Especially they know the right buttons
Yes.
to get you to do it.
Yeah. He would use that bitch psychology and, oh, yeah, well, a girl outdid you. And, and I mean, I was just like, he knew exactly how to push the buttons to piss you off, to make you go, all right, let's go. I'm going to ride this trail. I got you. I'm going to ride it. Kiss my ass. I mean, that's the kind of shit he would bring out in you. And then he'd go, love you, man. Come on, man. Let's hurry up. Let's go up the trail.
So when we were driving around getting some food earlier, after we went mountain biking, we actually had I took Coleman out on a mountain bike today when he got over.
First time on an electric assisted mountain bike in any type of terrain like that. Besides riding around.
I don't care what.
Yeah, that was
people
fun.
Can bitch on e-bikes. My theory of people hate on e-bikes, either two reasons, maybe three. They can't afford one. They haven't ever ridden one, because once you ride one, you're like, I got to get one. Or they're just a hardcore, like, into mountain bikes for the physical side of it. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, and you get both worlds.
I could see where that would help out a lot in like cross country racing and stuff like that. That's good cross training right there. I enjoyed it, especially you had some good suspension on there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I could turn it up a notch.
I'm sure you'll end up getting one. And everybody I've let ride ones the next day, they're just looking on Facebook Marketplace trying to find one.
Oh, if my wife got a hold of one of those, she'd be wanting one.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have two.
Yeah.
Because I got my wife to ride one. Yeah. So, but when we were getting food after that, you were telling me about a buddy on that same trail or a different one with a missing leg. So
that was this same trip right here.
Same trip?
This picture here. All right, look. I started going up.
So is he in the picture?
Yes.
Which one?
Now that's Adam Scheffler right there. Okay.
So which one?
He is Matt Chester's on the end. That's the guy directly behind me.
Okay.
Directly
with
over
the
my
red
shoulder.
S on the shirt.
Yes, with the S. I think that was a STP or something like that on his shirt or something.
So he's got one leg.
Yes.
One leg.
He from below the knee.
Okay.
Okay. And
he broke it. It got infected. And that's how he lost it.
Something like that. He did it at a Sorks race.
Okay.
He broke his leg at a Sorks race, and something happened from there. I'm not sure the whole story.
Yeah.
He told me, but I can't remember it right now. But anyway,
so what happened?
He ended up losing his leg. So we done had a long day. And it done been a long day. We done been on the trail since that morning, because when you go to the Hatfield-McCoy, trail systems like this are connected. Imagine like a Durham town, a Highland Park, a Moto Mountain draped across the Appalachian Mountains, and every single one of them trail systems has a connector trail to it. You can spend days hunting from town to town up there like that.
Yeah.
All you got to have is a pass. Well, we done been riding all day this trail system, and we done found a new trail that we'd heard, this trail number 172. If y'all are listening out, I'm telling you, go right now on the internet, go to YouTube, pull up a trail number, Hatfield-McCoy, Buffalo Mountain, Trail 172. And wait till you see the rock garden. This rock garden up here looks like a miniature Carl's Diner. What's that race over there?
I know.
It's out of that mine, out of that ore pit over there.
I know which one you're
Red
talking
Bull
about.
Racing. You know what I'm talking about? The hard enduro stuff.
Erzberg.
Erzberg. That's it. Yes. It looks just like that shit. I mean, there's a pipeline that comes through, and it's like you got to get up on your seat, just one knee, and kind of burp, 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 get through it. So we get up there to this one part. We all have done grown tired. We get to this rock garden. By this time, Matt Chester he's coming unglued. He's not really liking this hard trail shit, you know. He's like, what the fuck is this shit, man? Y'all bring me up here to the mountains and you're supposed to be on some trails. Scheffler, he kind of bitching.
Is that what he sounds like?
Yeah, well, when he's bitching through his helmet, he sounded like that. I was like, damn. So we get up there, it's a little difficult part. And it was a kind of off camber. And I'm kidding you not, man, the drop off was about 100 so yards down in the bottom. And it was pretty steep. Well, I don't know what happened. 1 or 2 went through. Well, we was waiting to get him through. We finally got everybody up through the rock thing climbing. We were going climbing up the rock den. So when you get to, there's a series of hard trails that are like negative cutback like this to get back up. That's like pops the wheel up, but you got to slam the front end down like this, and it cuts all your momentum and you hook. So it takes a lot. You got to hit it with the right speed. So we got stuck in it. It was getting dark. Sun was starting to go down. It was getting dark. You know how it gets darker in the woods. So next thing I know, Adam comes across there, man, and he gets fucked up, loses his balance, man. Next thing I know, I hear this, you know how you hear a bike when it hits solid rock, and you're like, oh God, I hope it didn't break the case. Oh shit,
and I hear, or a pipe,
I was
or just like something smashed.
And you hear his big ass rolling down the hill, and I'm like, oh, and you hear him go, oof. I was like, oh shit, that's the one that stopped him. It's like that knocked the wind out of him. We're all up there, and Hunter goes, Grayson's standing there, and Grayson's like, oh man, because if you know Grayson, he's a little more soft-spoken guy. He don't get really excited. He's a great guy, but he don't get excited. He's like, oh man, I hope he's okay. And I was like, yo, you know me, I'm an excitable motherfucker. I'm like, oh damn, bitch, you okay down there, man? He's like, oh man, shit, hang on. And all of a sudden I look, and I swear to God, I look down there, and he's laid in some rocks, and his ass is all piled up like this. And he goes, I think I'm okay. And he puts his leg up like this. Well, this whole boot, this shit is turned around backwards. His foot is facing the other way.
You don't know if it's
I don't know if it's his good leg or his bad leg, man. And this motherfucker's like, I think I got a problem. And I was like, oh, fuck. For just a brief moment, you see a foot turned around. You know, we're riding dirt bikes, and we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have to call in the fucking helicopter, get his ass out. We're camping out in the goddamn rain tonight. And it was getting dark, and it was fixing to come a thunderstorm. Well, long and short, we finally got him up, and come to find out that was his, he had to take his time and get his shit all back together and stuff like that. Adam, if you listen, man, I'm sorry, bro. I mean, you know that shit was funny. We got back to camp. So we spent, get out of there. Now listen, I'm telling you now, this sumbitch has done had a rough day. Now by this time, everybody trying to help each other out of the trail, okay? Grayson will remember this too. We were really struggling on this one part. Everybody would just be, all right, your turn, you try it. Because, you done got like 5 or 6 tries, and fuck, you're not getting up it. So finally, we all master that. We get up there, and it starts to rain. And I mean, it is absolutely freaking pouring. Now, meanwhile, before we finish this, I forgot. Robert and his son had stripped the front sprocket. He had about 4 or 5 teeth left, and we were like probably 20 miles from home. Okay? So they had exited the trail early before we got to that, and Robert had actually took them back. So it was just me, Grayson, Adam, and Matt on this trail, and the sun setting. So we get up to a good spot in the trail, and it is pitch black. And I told him, I said, man, you better bring lights and shit in your backpack and stuff, because you never know what's going to happen up on the mountain. I said, you better bring snacks. You better bring something. Like I said, you never know what's going to happen up there. That sumbitch, he started breaking down right there. Pouring down rain, you're having to look like this. And he's like, why we call Robert, man, and tell him to come get us and stuff? I said, dude, we call him and tell him to come get us. We'll never live that shit down. I said, dude, we've been up here in worse conditions on this mountain up here, and you want to break down? I was like, don't turn into a bitch on me now. Now, I kid you not. It was after that trip. Something about, I don't care what trip we go up there. Every trip, one man somehow mountain broke his ass. You would see somebody lose their cool. Somebody would finally just throw the bike on the ground, and just a guy that you wouldn't even think it would do it. Something about.
But they emerge a new man stronger.
That's right. Fuck yeah, man. But I'm telling you that the Hatfield-McCoy trail system up on the mountain, it'll make you or it'll break you. That's all I got to say about Hatfield-McCoy.
Well,
we're about 10 minutes past what I planned for this time,
Okay.
but the stories were too damn good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll make it. And who cares if we go over? You know
Yeah,
what?
right.
But I am
Yeah,
going to
for
say
sure.
that at 8:30 on the dot, no matter the time, I'm turning the phone lines on. And anybody listening that wants to call in live and share a good story, talk shit about Coco, talk shit about me, whatever you want to do, call in. The number's on the corner of the screen. 8:30 on the dot, turning the phone lines on. So definitely do that. But before we do it, I feel like let's keep talking because you had this epic ride on. Man, I don't know why it's pulling up pictures. So I'm gonna use the snippet tool to
Okay.
open it because it's a little bit better than the paint tool.
Do what you gotta
Move
do.
that over to there. That's weird why it's doing this shit. So what was this trip about? You and Crane just kind of on a whim within the last few minutes?
No,
Was
actually,
this one planned?
this was planned. It was planned a couple of months in advance. Me and Mike Crane and a buddy of his, I met in 2020 on a previous cross country trip. We had went out to the Rockies, Yellowstone Park, and Glacier National Park on a trip. We were gone for 2 weeks, gelled real well with Bill. So we wanted to get together, recreate the magic. That was in 2020, the first trip we went on. 21, I think, yeah, I was living, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was living with my buddy Bobby Woolridge.
Yeah.
Owns Woolies.
Woolies. Yeah,
Bobby,
yeah.
if you're watching, brother.
You're repping for him, I
Yep,
know.
Yep. I think I was living with him, but I think at the time, we made plans for the next year, summer, to go cross country, and I wanted something different. I wanted, yeah, we went out west. There you go. Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and you did it on your touring bike, right?
yes, we did on a B&W.
What was Crane on?
He was on his GS. He rides a GS.
He rides that thing all over the place.
Oh, he rides that.
Hell,
sometimes.
I'll talk about a spontaneous trip. When I was at Bud's Creek last summer, I ran into you and Mike.
yeah.
I happened to see a Woolly shirt, and
You
I
was
went
like,
to go
"What the
take a
fuck
picture.
is it?"
I just went to go take a picture of it
Yeah.
and send it to our Woods group,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's fucking Coleman. Had
fuck-
no idea. You
Now,
guys
that
were like,
was a whim.
Last minute.
Yeah,
that was
he
last
goes,
minute.
you ever been to an outdoor national? I was like, no. He goes, want to go to one? I was like, fuck. Yeah, he goes, I got a buddy that I grew up with in high school.
Oh, yeah,
that
he lived real close
he
there.
lives like 40 minutes from there. He
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
his wife's going out of town. He goes, he's giving us a spot. He goes, all we got to do is gas up there, buy a ticket. I was like, shit, I'm down Bud's Creek. Let's
Yeah,
roll.
It was a good time.
So it was a
wasn't too
good
hot.
time.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
But
too-
we fucking
I know.
sidetracked. What?
Yeah,
now
but
this,
anyway,
yeah, the
so
story.
we took that trip. We decided, I think we planned about a month and a half, 2 months. That was a West Coast run. Mike, one day we were talking, he goes, what would you like to do? What would be your ultimate ride? What would be the Coco ride? I said, the Coco ride, I've always wanted to go to West Coast, put my feet in the Pacific Ocean. He said, I like that idea. He said, we could do it. So we called Bill. Bill says, oh, hell, I'm down. Now, that guy right there, man, it's another tight buddy of mine, met him through Mike. I asked Mike, I said, do you think I like him? And he asked him the same thing. He goes, believe me, you two will get along like peanut butter and jelly. Y'all will be just fine.
Man,
Sure
you ain't
enough.
never met a stranger
I
in your
know.
life.
I know.
Like,
So we took off. That trip was a massive trip. That one right there we were on the gas. We did 7,400 miles in 14
Jeez.
days.
yeah.
We were so excited. I remember leaving on that trip. We were going to leave on a Friday morning. We were going to leave early. They were all coming to when I lived in Rockmart. They came to my house out there. And we were going to eat a good dinner, get up, leave about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, haul ass. Man, Bill looks at us. He goes, y'all know y'all son bitches ain't going to sleep. He goes, I'm as excited as fuck. He goes, how about we just hit the road now? I was like, fuck yeah. So I was like, let me turn everything off. Fuck. Because the bikes are already loaded. All I wanted to do was get up, turn the key on, fire the bitch up, and haul ass.
Yeah. And to clarify on the loaded, not loaded on a trailer.
Yeah.
You guys are
No,
driving.
we ride.
Yeah.
We're
the
riding.
bikes are loaded with what
You ride
need,
with Mike
not
Crane,
loaded
you
on a
don't trailer shit.
No, that's true.
You ride.
That son of a bitch rides his dual sport to a Sorks race.
Hey, gets
Races the
off.
Sorks race, wins the son of a bitch overall a few years back, gets back on his dual sport, and then goes 2 hours
back
home.
Yep, back home.
Yeah.
That's
6
it.
hours total on
Yeah.
a bike.
Motherfucker don't care.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
He
And
is.
he'll be 61 damn years old, and that son of a bitch he's a machine.
Dude, I can't touch him at Scrub and Dirt. If I go right with him at
Oh,
Scrub
yeah,
and Dirt, he hurts my feelings.
Oh yeah, in his backyard. Oh, don't even fuck with him in his own backyard.
Yeah.
Hey man, people come up there just to jump. He says, I don't even get a warm up lap in. He said they waiting on side of the track to get some of Pawpaw. Sounds just
Mike's
like
a
his
fucking
ass.
animal. He was supposed to be in with you today, but
Yeah,
he's going
he's-
to Coal Creek Lodge tomorrow morning.
Yes, him and Billy.
Idaho.
Yeah, him and my boy Billy, part of the cross country duo, are leaving out in the morning, and they're headed out there to do that. And then in 5 weeks, we're together again, and we got 2 additional recruits coming up on this ride. What you got?
I don't know. On my phone, because I had it live, it's not showing right. But I could be wrong. Maybe my phone glitched out because I went into the thing, but it's spinning like it's not on there.
But
nobody's messaging me that it's not on. No, it's good. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Minor technical
bad.
difficulties.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
working it out. But anyway, so we decided to leave that morning. We got up. We left. I mean, that afternoon we left at like 5:30. We rode to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, about 4.5 hours from the house, a couple hundred miles to 280, 290 from the house there. Got a room. Mike says, you better get some sleep, Coco. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. I was like, oh, I know. I done been on the road with you before. I know. So we went to bed, man. We woke up like 4:30, 4:45. Everybody gets their showers. We go down to the breakfast area in the hotel. We get something to eat. We hit the road. That morning we pulled out of there. I think we pulled out about 6 a.m., something like that. Almost 13 hours later, 12 hours, 48 minutes, 872 miles. We're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Damn.
We done crossed the whole fucking center of the United States of America.
In one day.
In one fucking day, rolling with Mike Crane. I was like, dude, I'm standing up. I'm like,
Yeah,
at
you
this
got to
point-
do micro movements on
yes,
the head.
you
and your arms.
you gotta
Like,
stand up.
yeah.
I mean, and by this time I'd done run enough trips out west and been on a bike, done enough long distance touring to know, man, I run the Camelback. Every gas station we stop, I go inside, fill that sucker up
Yeah.
with ice. I put it underneath my ride jacket so that cold thing stays on your back.
Yep,
Because
yep.
every time we run these trips, it's always August. For some reason, it's August. But that one, just a little recap besides that. So we get out to Sioux Falls. We get up next morning. We leave Sioux Falls. We go into, we shipped our dry bags out west with my mom and my aunt and uncle. They go to Sturgis every year. So I was like, we going to blow through Sturgis? Billy's like, hell yeah, because he rides a Harley. I ride the K-bike. And then
Crane's
Mike
on a
rides the GS. So we blow through Sturgis. We meet my mom. We have some lunch. We kill about 5 hours or so. I think that was the shortest ride day. And then we stayed there about 4 or 5 hours, and then we blasted off, and we made it all the way to Gillette, Wyoming.
Damn.
That was only like
Did you guys get a good shave while you were there?
no.
Gillette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were that was the shortest day. It was about 528 miles, something like that. Next morning, we woke up in Gillette, Wyoming. We left from there, broke out for Spokane. That was 775 that day.
Dang.
So we made it to Spokane and kept up. And then after that, Seattle, West Coast down, did Yosemite National Park.
That was cool, I bet.
Yeah, did that. Came down US 395
Mhm.
up against the Sierra Nevadas.
Oh, okay.
Did that, rode the whole Sierra Nevadas down on that side of California, more to the eastern side of California. Didn't go to the
Did
coast.
you get to ride through the redwoods? That's something I'd
Yes,
always want to
we did that after we went through Yosemite. We went to what's that, Sequoia National Park?
see. Yeah.
We went down there for the trees. We seen that. We busted out of there.
Did you get to ride through one of them?
No, we didn't
No.
actually go that. We went to the Trail of 100 Giants.
Oh, okay.
That's in there. It's about 180 miles, 140, 180 miles, something like that, north of Los Angeles. Then from there, we pulled a midnight run because it was super hot. They wanted to go. We was going to go to Vegas. So
Alright.
we pulled into Vegas. We left there.
Want some strippers and cocaine?
Well,
Okay.
something
I
like
see.
that,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And we pulled into Vegas. I'm telling you, man, never been to Vegas. They're like, oh, we're taking you to Vegas, man. So they were like, look, we're going to do this at night. You don't want to ride and cross
No.
15 in the daytime. It's like it's too fucking hot, Coco. We'll burn up.
Yeah.
Whatever we get there, we get there. We rolled into Vegas at 3:30 in the morning, West Coast time. Sun's coming up on the East Coast. I'm like, fucking beat. By this time, we already had, and we was only like 8 days in, 9 days into the trip. We were on our way back. We done made the turn back across the states. We were like 5,800 miles in, something like that already. I was like, yeah. And they were like, and both of us had done got sick. Me and Crane, somehow we got a cold or something like that.
Yeah, it'll happen.
And because we were pushing so hard, man, to cover mileage.
So kind of after Vegas, it was kind of almost like you got a few things in, but it was almost like a beeline home kind of thing.
2 days laid up in Vegas to regroup and everything, and then it was just on the gas all the way home.
2 days to regroup.
Yeah,
your wife
in
watching.
Vegas.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, man, she knows the thing. She kept up with me. But it was fun. I'm telling you, long distance touring something is fun. That's been I like it. And we got an upcoming trip too, coming up in about 5 weeks.
Nice. Yeah, the most like long distance trips I did was actually when I was a kid, like going from Florida to Maine on the back of a Goldwing kind of thing.
Okay.
But I would like to do that at some point when I get, old and my balls are down to my knees like yours are, at that point I'll do that. So,
at this age,
2-3
it's
more
nice
years
to
for
have
me.
them that large. They've never been that large before. So I just like take a picture. I'm like, I remember the days. Oh, sorry. But yeah, man, it's fun, man. I've had some fun times in the dirt. I've had great
Plenty
times on
more.
the street. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fixing to make more.
No, I think we're gonna have to get you back in because you still have so many damn photos. And your buddy Tyler was wanting to come in. We got to get Mike in. Crane's gonna be good.
Yeah, he wanted to come tonight, but he goes, dude, I'm punching out in the morning time.
No. He told me. In fact, I told him I was gonna talk shit on him. He told me he couldn't come because he had to cut the grass, and then he didn't get his stuff ready because of that. And I was dogging on for that. He's like, well, hell, I let it go so long because I thought my mom was gonna cut it.
Yeah, well, he always like that. He could throw shit together. Listen, man.
No, dude, I know.
I ain't never seen a guy. Listen, man. When you go ride with him, that son bitch come out of the tent in the morning time, fully clothed, everything on, ready to ride. You ain't even got out of your tent, still in your underwear. That motherfucker talking about unzip your tent, talking about, hey man, you about ready in there? I was like, damn bitch, give me a chance. Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into our next segment. Yeah, man, it's good times. I want to keep going, but we do have these other segments I got to cover. We're gonna end up being here till freaking midnight if we just let it roll.
Hey.
But still, it's fun as hell. I don't even care. Like I almost don't even give a shit about the other segments at this point. But I did want to remind anybody because one thing I feel like, and I've watched a lot of people how they do these giveaways because the whole point of this show is I want to encourage just the average person to send because like if you knew that this show existed, you could call in and send an awesome story. That'd be great to hear because that's one of the coolest things I think about going on those long trips, going to racing buddies is getting to meet new people and they get to start telling stories and then somebody else remembers a story and then next thing you know 10 hours have passed and you guys have just been bullshitting about stories or not
man.
10 hours by that time everybody's usually drunk and ready to bed, but you know what I'm saying. So call in, send in your stories at any time you want. Call that phone number, 844-789-2367. You got 8 minutes to send a good story. It gives you 100 entries into a dirt bike giveaway. But one thing that I thought about with giveaways, people always wait until the last minute to send in entries or to purchase the tickets or whatever. That's not going to work for you in this situation. The giveaway is on December 26th. So you need to get your story in before the show so it can possibly get played so you can get the entries. Because if not, you're going on to next year's. And who knows? I might not be able to afford to do this next year. This shit's expensive. The studio's probably got about 25 grand in it, if I'm being honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah. The shit ain't cheap.
Y'all be impressed if you seen the shit I walked in. Nice.
By the way, send in the story. I've got a few of them to play later today. I got a few stories from the tracks. So the audio, I didn't know this. I told this on the last show. The audio is not that great. They're going to be better. But the next ones I want to do is like doing like a FaceTime call with somebody and that I know that's got a good story. Or I know Keith, the owner of Monster Mountain.
Yep.
He and I have talked already, and we're gonna do a story. I'm gonna try to get with him next week for that. But do like 15, 20-minute story with them. Anybody that I know that has a good one that's not local to me that can come in studio, get them to just do a little chat and stuff. But yeah, send in those stories. It's possibly win you a bike. It's that easy. Oh, you got 100 entries for coming in the studio tonight, sir.
Damn.
You saw the bike.
Oh yeah, that's a sharp 02 YZ 250, man. It looking sharp down there. I liked it. It looked good. Graphics look good. Plastic almost new. Couldn't believe it. The jug.
Plastics is new. What do
Oh,
you
it
mean
is?
plastics almost new?
Man,
No, plastics, bearings. I went through that whole thing, and
it does
like,
look sharp.
the bearings really weren't that
Yeah.
bad.
Was that a new jug on there too? Did you just go?
No, actually the gas tank was.
No,
was-
I'm talking about the actual jug piston and the
No.
all that.
Oh, you want to know who did the suspension
Who
and
did?
the engine on that?
Who did?
Larry Dukes.
Get the hell out of
Yeah,
here! Really?
I took the sticker off of it. Sorry, but yeah,
No shit.
and I think in the side of the head it's got LSD engraved.
Yeah,
in the side of
LSD,
it.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough, my buddy Parker Wilson knows who the owner of that bike was.
Really?
So we're possibly going to try to get him in studio. He used to go ride their private track all the time. So yeah, Parker hit me up after the last show and was like, I know that bike. And the guy's Facebook, you can tell he's not been on Facebook in a while, is that bike.
No shit.
Yes.
Oh,
His Facebook
wow.
is still that
Wow.
bike. So I
Yeah,
thought that
those
was
old
pretty cool.
YZs like that, boy, with the right pipe and everything. Those things just crisp, boy.
Yeah, either way, let's get into the next segment. The next segment is pre-recorded stories I got at the track. We're going to cut off our mics, let you guys listen to this. We're going to take a quick piss, maybe refill our drinks, have a little more liquid courage.
Yep.
Let's get at it. So here we go. Our next segment is brought to you by Hard Knocks Racing, dedicated motorcycle enthusiast in 1998. Go to for Campfire Moto official gear, launch an apparel line of. They excel in crafting all kinds of custom decals, like this badass sign behind me, from custom signs to bus wraps and office customization. In fact, check out this work Anthony did at one of the well-known Japanese manufacturers, nameless. They also crafted a prestigious event, Perry Mountain 24-hour race, Spring Classic, Deka Hair Scrimp, many more for local racetracks in the Southeast. Check out hardknocksracing.com or Anthony D'Amico a call at 4717.
There's the video. Alright, shoot. I see a second. Oh, okay. So yeah, you hit the soft spot, walk a little, and then hit another soft spot. Yeah, so how's he doing? That soft spot is still there. Right here. You know you're supposed to wheel it with shit like that, right? I don't necessarily. I mean, I'm saying you can race it for how long you can go. Okay, I just want to make sure you do that. It still happens. The first guy I got to get a story from, so reach it. Anthony Bennett, John, Woody. Yeah, share a story with me.
I mean, just started. Parents bought me a dirt bike randomly. Grew up in the middle of West Virginia, so dirt bike. So they got me an XR70 when I was 9. Right around the yard and stuff, and then we got noticed some property that a different guy who his daughter raced motocross built a small, like, minute lap time motocross track. So I started riding on that. And then went to 65, and right on that, and started racing when I was 10. And I mean, basically since then, I'm 30 now. Just turned 30 this year, February.
Oh, nice. So this is the year for you to turn 30.
Yeah, and I mean, I've raced all the way through, you know, mini bikes, schoolboys, C, B, A, ended up getting my pro license at 120. Didn't do anything with it. That's just a role that I could get, you know. And now we're here, vet classes, plus 25, plus 30. period of time. That's going to get a ticket.
Any good crazy crashes and trouble getting to a race at any point?
I mean, altogether, I think I got like 25 broken bones. That's eventually almost lost my finger 2 years ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks
How'd you do that?
If you could see that, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, tell me about that. I actually have another lost finger story.
It was a day in the dirt. Not the one they had this year, last year.
Dade City?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my stomping ground. I grew up racing that track.
I moved from West Virginia with my girlfriend. She's my rock. She's a nurse, so she gets through.
Oh.
I get my shit together.
Yeah.
So we live in Tampa now.
Okay.
And so
I grew up right off Ehrlich Road.
Oh, nice. I'm right off the phone.
Okay.
So we went to Dade City and just coming through the woods, got together with another guy, went down, and actually, I thought I got it stuck in a sprocket or something because I went down with the guy, but then I found out I actually smashed it so hard with the front brake lever that it crushed it.
Oh.
But it was like shattered, and then just like flipped it off, and it was hanging on by a couple, like, I think it was like a quarter less than a quarter inch, and it was just like flopping around.
You know, that's actually a very common road racing injury for the people. They'll go down in a crash and it'll just get under the handlebar and just grind it off. Yeah, a lot of road racers you'll see have no
Have fingers.
Yeah. Some guys are lucky enough to have both of them gone.
Nice.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So did you finish the ride? Or?
That's it. I mean, my buddy took to the hospital. Get back to the hospital, and then from day 2 to 3, and we get back and.
Tampa General?
No, we ended up actually on Dade City because it was bleeding. Yeah, trust me. No hate comments, but you know they did me great. They stitched it up and it looks really good. And I didn't have to have surgery or anything, so they did great. But my girlfriend actually works at Tampa General. She's like, you should just. Yeah. I'm like, right, not wrong, but it all worked out. But I ended up staying the rest of the weekend to hang out with her.
She might work with one of my best friends. That was my man of honor. Corey Williams, a nurse, I think, at Tampa
Night
General.
shift?
He was on night shift for a long time, and he went to day shift.
Oh, ask her.
Yeah.
But she's night shift.
And he used to race woods and motocross with me and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't raced woods, but I've done a lot of trail riding. A lot of motocross. Plus, motocross podcasts. They're never open.
Yeah. You know, they're doing a day in the dirt.
Yeah, I actually heard that.
Second week in October, first week in
I
October.
will be there.
I'm contemplating going to it.
That's like all stomping.
Yeah.
So my local track is Tomahawk,
Okay.
which is 3 hours away. And literally, like, we would drive there every week. Practicing. And I used to tell people that, like, hey, I'm going to Hedgesville. It's 3 hours away, and they're like, why? I got nervous. Sit on the couch all day.
Yeah. Cool, man. No, that's an awesome story. I cut it right there.
In live. All right. I got to turn on all the mics. There we go. Are we live? You can hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, A3 texted me that the audio is cutting in and out on that. It's just with that camera that I had, I didn't realize that it is taking 360 sound. Like, even if I was to have done that interview on my phone, it would actually have sounded so much better. But just the way that camera was, I didn't realize you needed live mics and all that other stuff.
Oh, on that?
But, yeah. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I just went around Itchicani and went to just people that I saw and was like, hey, I'm doing this. You got a good story to tell me? And he's the first dude that ended up saying, yeah. And funny enough, he ended up telling me a story about the track I grew up racing on.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. He, you were, I took you like 12 minutes to pee because you're old and stuff. So we,
Shit,
but,
man. Might be these beverages.
but yeah, he told me about a story where he lost his finger and yeah. I'm 2 for 2 shows having a story about a guy who lost a finger. And I don't remember who, but I was talking with somebody not too long ago.
Bad? Oh, man, I hope that ain't a sign of
That's
things
what's
to come.
weird about it. Honestly, before talking with those guys, I can't recall ever really.
I mean, really, ask yourself a question. If you had to lose a finger, which finger would you lose?
Not that one.
I mean,
Or that one.
Seriously, if you,
I'd take a pinky.
I think I'd take a pinky too.
I don't want a thumb gone. You know?
No, that yeah.
I want my thumb.
I want my thumb. Yeah, I need everything. I need that.
I don't need my ring finger. I feel like, well, no, honestly, I'd lose the ring finger because I grip a lot with my.
You're right.
These 2 fingers. I don't know. Damn.
That's
I can
what
run a
saying.
recluse. I'll lose.
Yeah.
I'll lose this middle finger or this finger on left
Now,
hand.
I'm not
'Cause I'll
talking-
run a recluse and still be able to grip pretty well.
Now, would you rather lose a half a finger, whole finger?
Oh, get it out of the way. No, no nub.
Pick it.
No, you got 9 others. Yeah, good there.
Enough about fingers. Somebody want to talk about it.
But yeah, the next segments with those, it's got to be better, I promise. So I like I said, people are already telling me that the audio is cutting out on them. It's just part of it, people. I'm learning how to do all this. It's a second show. But the other one,
Well, what's the other stuff? I mean, how about the other content? Is it
it will get there.
okay?
Oh, for the rest of the show, it's
Yeah,
good. It's
yeah.
just those 2 ones. The audio just, I did what I could actually to clean it up. I went into the system and tried to do like this background thing. Compared to what it was, it's 100 times better. But I still, you could barely,
Gotcha.
the generator's running and the other stuff. And the other video was actually my buddy David Brewer. You met him.
Yes.
He
yep.
was the one in the leopard Speedo.
Oh my
for the
God.
24-hour race.
Yeah, yes, because it was when. Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. Oh my God.
Let's get into it now. Why not?
Okay, yeah. So back on your deal with the feminine type clothing and shit. I swear, y'all, man. So he passed me. One year I get passed by a dude in a pink tutu. That lost a bet because he was shorter than Ben's ass. And then all of a sudden now you
You didn't know we were doing this either.
no. I mean, and then I show up. This is when he asked me to manage them and take care of them and help run the team and keep up with the times and stuff. And I show up and I get there. I missed the start, but I pull up and I see the pictures and they're coming back. And you and James Fawcett.
And Brewer. David Brewer, who I showed the
y'all
other
are
video of.
coming back with cut off Daisy Dukes.
No, sir.
No,
I'm in a jean Speedo.
That's it,
Jim's in a
yes.
jean Speedo.
that's right. Y'all were in those Speedos.
With American tank
Yes.
top t-shirts.
And I looked at this and I was like, oh my God. When I see all that, I was like, I have elected to manage the damn village people. That's exactly when I seen them leopard print things. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers here fixing to break out into YMCA in about 2 seconds.
So that was actually the second year we did that. The previous year was the first year we did it. And the reason why we did it, well, my best friend from high school, she gave me the jean Speedo and a matching set for my baby son, like when we were first born. When he was
Jean
first
Speedo.
It's a Speedo.
I know, but
And it
got
looks like jean
you got
shorts.
it from a girl or from a
Girl. Yeah. She gave them to me as a joke gift. And there was like
okay?
baby diaper type ones so that he and I would match.
Okay.
So when he was first born.
Okay.
So Jim, at some point I sent a picture. Jim was like, that's hilarious. So he buys the set. So
his goofy ass.
yeah, yeah, of course. He was wearing them on a cruise. So
I don't doubt it.
Yep.
I don't doubt it.
So in 2022, we signed up for the 24-hour race. And the year before, there was all kinds of people doing names that unless you were fucked up like we are, you wouldn't know, like to the average person.
Yeah.
But so somebody let Perry Mountain know that, hey, there was people doing some fucked up names. Like our team name was Rosebud Reaper. And if you need to know what a rosebud is, just go to Urban Dictionary and look it up, and you'll find out what a rosebud is.
Yeah.
But so that was our team name, and it got passed. So the next year we wanted to be Montana Musket Loaders. Again, go to YouTube for that one. I'm not going to explain what it was. So for that year they hired Andrew Wheat. Super nice dude, but that was his job. They hired him to make sure people aren't doing fucked up names like that. So I have a laundry list in my phone of fucked up names for potential like endurance races like that because I just think it's funny. So we submit it, kicks back. Hey, we can't run this name. And I'm like, why? He's like, I looked it up. And I was like, no. So like all of our group, our great grandfathers fought in this war. Like I looked into it, just fed him a bunch of bullshit.
Oh my God.
And he was like, no, man, you're not
pulling
so
that
I
shit
submit
off.
another one. He's like, rejected. Another one, rejected. And so I get with my team members and I'm like, hey, we got to do something because I was like, what can we do to screw with them, but to also have a fucked up name?
Yeah.
So we came up with the fact that James and I had jean Speedos
So he said, and most of us were on Yamahas that year. Jim was the only one on a Husky. And we said, why don't we do Blue Crew and the Daisy Dukes boys? Approved. So we show up on the line wearing the jean Speedos to support our guy taking off in the race.
I remember the pictures and the stuff. I mean, I know when they were like, damn.
Yeah, they were not happy about it. And I know they weren't happy about it because we got second that year. And so he reads the team name off, and you hear him go, oh, goddamn, I hope if they're not wearing the Speedos up here to get the awards.
Damn, gotcha.
Yeah. So the next year, you were our team manager. Yep. It was so funny. We decided to do it again. One thing we found out, middle-aged and on up women love the jean Speedos. We were getting stopped by almost every single woman in the 45 to 65 range wanting to take pictures with us.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the coolest age bracket, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that was the... Like I said, you never know what's going to go on at a 24-hour dirt bike race.
Oh, shit. We got 5 minutes until the return on the live callers. Why don't we knock out the Billy's Tech Tip? All right. This is going to be a good one.
Billy's Tech Tip. Ding, ding, ding. I seen Billy not too long ago. It was over at Great.
Time for Billy Eisenhower's Tech Tips.
What? What happened there? Why was it so quiet? That was weird. The volume down?
I heard it.
You did?
I heard it. Now for...
That's weird. You know what? Now that you say that, I'm not hearing anything in my headset. What am I on? 4? No. Something happened while I went on break. I'm not hearing anything. All right. So you heard it. That's all that matters.
Yep.
All right. You heard it. They can hear it.
Yeah. Like a little
all
baby.
Right. Here's Billy's Tech Tip.
What's Billy's Tech Tip this week?
Campfire Moto Stories. What up? I'm Bobby Eisenhower, Billy's brother. Billy couldn't pay his electricity bill. And then he forgot to send a video, and this whole thing happened. So I'm filling in for him. His younger, way more attractive brother, Bobby Eisenhower. Anyways, one thing that was actually really cool that Billy taught me at one point was I had a strip bolt on a front disc, and I ended up, once I'd already screwed it up, he goes, oh, heat the crap out of that thing because blue Loctite will hold those things in there. So at that point, I'd already screwed it up so bad, took my welder to it, popped a few beads onto there, just got it nice and hot, melted the Loctite, and then get you an impact hammer. Oh, actually, you had to take a scissors wheel and cut a little slit in it. Then take your impact hammer. Those things will come right out. But to avoid that from the very start, just go ahead. Anytime you're about to mess with one of the front or rear disc brakes bolts or anything that you know has the Loctite on it, heat that up because it'll just turn the Loctite into liquid, backs right out on you.
I figured out what I did. I hit my mute for my ears, so that's why I couldn't hear shit. But I figured it out while we were playing.
We got to work on your technical prowess.
Look, this is my second show ever. I think I'm doing pretty good.
I think you're doing pretty good.
But so I reached out to Billy like 3 days ago. Was like, hey, don't forget show's coming up. Send me a video. He's like, yeah, all right. I forgot about it till last night at like 7 o'clock. And I hit up his wife because I tried hitting him up and I didn't get him. I'm like, hey, send me the video. She's like, our electricity's out. We just checked into a hotel. I was like, oh, no. They weren't going back home at that point. So I had to make a video.
That's hysterical.
It worked because that's something that Billy told me at one point.
Well, I was curious when I said, I was like, what the heck? Okay. All right. I was like, Billy done got smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. He said that's his younger. I mean, that's Billy's younger, way more attractive brother. It's weird. He's got the same shirt as me, and he's standing next to the bike that I'm giving away.
I was wondering.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was.
But that's Bobby Eisenhower. Did you know Billy had a younger, better-looking brother?
No, I didn't.
That's Billy's face.
You know, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. I'd like to meet him.
Yeah. Looks good. I'd hit it again.
Damn, man.
All right. All right, I'm turning the phone lines on now because there's a bit of delay. Oh, wait. Yeah. 8:30. I was about to play go into the next segment.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, you said.
Oh, my God. I forgot to play the sponsor read for the Billy's Eisenhower.
Well, I mean, you know, his power was out and everything.
Yeah.
He got his name mentioned. Good.
No, but there's a sponsor for Billy.
Oh, there is a sponsor?
there's-
Well, you're going to have to take that up with them. I'm sure they'll get.
We're
in
going to
touch.
backtrack onto that.
Okay.
So
I'm sure they'll probably get. I'm sure they'll probably get with you. You know, sponsors. I mean, in their contract, do you have to mention them so many times?
no. Each segment I play, they have designated segments, and they get the little read on it. And honestly, anybody wants to
There you go.
I got like 9 segments. If he wants to be a sponsor, it's going to get
Yeah,
better.
man.
Dude, I'm doing this for cheap. I'm doing this to barely cover some of the costs to recoup for this, and
Yeah.
just to get it going. Honestly,
I hear you. Hey, y'all hear that? Y'all want to chip in? Campfire Moto Stories, man.
all
You
right.
got a Venmo? We get our brother, or if you got some cool tech tips.
Honestly, not a lot of people are watching live on this one, so I don't know if anybody's going to call in and share any stories on it. But
Yeah.
it'll get there. So if
Oh, yeah.
even if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But isn't that cool?
That's a tasty beverage you got there, huh?
It
What you
is.
got there? The Scofflaw?
Yeah,
You know, I hear they're local to Atlanta. That'd be good to get them on a segment. I think
probably would.
I got a
I like
buddy.
it.
I know a buddy who knows the owner, so maybe I'll try to talk to
There
that
you
guy
go.
at some point.
There you go.
Give it just a few more seconds, and then we'll go on to the next one.
Gotcha.
Actually, while we're waiting, why don't we play the Billy's Tech Tip sponsor read? My bad, Chad.
Go. Let's see.
Transform your comfort with Innovative Mechanical LLC, specializing in HVAC service for residential and commercial properties. They provide expert installation, maintenance,
we got a
and
caller.
repair.
Oh no.
Certified
Yeah, we got a
technicians
caller. We're
ensure
pausing this
top-notch-
Alive?
Hey, you're on live with Campfire Moto Stories. Who we got here?
Macho Man from Florida.
Macho Man from Florida.
Macho Man from Florida. I got to ask you without you figuring out who it is. We became roommates.
John,
after
I can see
Dade
your
City.
name.
Met you at Dade City.
It tells me
Oh,
your
that's
name.
bullshit, man.
This is my old roommate from Florida.
Oh,
You want to talk about some
Yeah.
fucking stories?
So
Oh, look.
before I give you a story, I got to ask you one. What made you pull up to me at Dade City the first time we met and we became roommates? What made you pull up to me at the starting line?
I thought you and your dad came into the Cowie dealership I was working at before then, and you guys were
No,
wanting to buy
no.
Cowies, and
Maybe you're
you
right.
ended
Maybe
up
you're
buying
right. So you came over here
Hondas,
trying
so
to sell me something.
yeah, we were trying to sell you something,
Okay.
and you were fucking such a Honda man. Oh, I gotta have my Ride Red. Fucking, don't you have a Ride Red tattoo on your arm, or is that somebody else?
Fuck no. Don't you speak with
Okay,
shit like that.
all right.
I'm riding I'm an electric Chinese bike right now. If I had a Ride Red on my arm, I think I'd have to do something about it.
Like make it more slanted in the.
No, probably just, like watch some, old bar-to-bar videos and feel like I was the man again.
No, but that's what I think it was. You guys came in. I gave you a few quotes on some 06 KX250Fs, and then you guys went to fucking Honda of Houston or wherever and ended up buying 2 from there, and you sent one out to get modded by PC. And
Okay.
did that work for you? How'd that
I
work
just-
for you?
For some reason, I was in my head going, man, I don't even know how we first met. I remember him talking to me at the line. Next thing we know, we're roommates. But, yeah, I just wanted to call in and give you a little support, bro. I know you've been talking about this kind of stuff for a while, so it's great to hear you on.
Yeah. What
Now, if you
so-
do want to hear a random story, I think the first time it'll only be appropriate if you chose from the goodie bags. You want to hear, some new school electric stuff? You want to hear some old school get beat by James Stewart stuff on a regular basis? You want to hear some me and you stuff? There's plenty of it.
I want to hear some James Stewart and me and you. I want to see what you pull out of the hat because I can think of at least 20 that we have right off the
Yeah.
bat. So
I
give
didn't
me
prepare
James
for this
Stewart.
at all. So,
Look at James Stewart.
Yeah.
But I
When he
will
was on
say,
80s, he was racing
what
the Winter
Anthony's
Ams and
talking
shit.
about is every weekend growing up, we were, AMA Gold Cup, AMA Summer Series, whatever it was, we were racing AMA.
Okay.
And when I first got into riding, I really didn't know much about the scene. And so we pull up and we're racing an age division group and we sign up and I'm running 14 to 15, I think it was back then. And we don't know about James Stewart. We don't know about Donnie McGordy. We don't know about Bill Saps and Super Mini. We don't know about Chisholm and Super Mini.
Yeah.
We're going to races. And from that day forward, the summary of it is I got my ass kicked every single weekend. And if we got like a 7th place, that's 3rd place. That's 3rd place. That's a podium. We won't celebrate
That's a win.
7th place because you know how it is.
That's the podium. You,
Oh, yeah.
you just go ahead. When they get off
That's
the
the
podium, you just go stand on the podium at that point.
That's that
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
I
shit.
did. I waited in line like they were going to invite me up or something. Once they got down, I went up, got on 3rd place. I
Got
guess
your
that's
old
right.
pizza. Hold up the number one.
So
finger.
anyway,
You wearing like
I would
Jinko
say
jeans and shit on the.
Oh no, I wasn't that guy. But yeah, you're talking the right time period. You know what I mean? You're talking the right time period. So I would say honestly, the probably the most fun and like realistic anyone has been there. James Stewart story. I think it was the second time qualifying for Loretta's, and our regional would have been at Muddy Creek, Tennessee.
Yep.
It was our first time to go to Muddy Creek, Tennessee, and you know, as a Florida guy, I'm thinking I'm pretty good with the heat. I know about the heat, but Muddy Creek was a completely different kind of heat. You're in a valley of these mountains
I was just about
where
to
the
say
wind
that.
just doesn't. It doesn't come down in there to cool everything down. So it's like feels like 107 degrees. We were, you know, not broke, but in motocross times, that was broke. We would, you know, anything we could get up to the race in, and a lawn and garden trailer, and you lose a couple bearings, then you're throwing the bikes in the motorhome from 1982, Winnebago, trying to get there. And, you know, you pull up late, and there's literally like a sea of 60cc riders waiting to get on the line. And I'm trying to get through them because my guys are in practice. And by the time I get through them, maybe had a lap or two, maybe. So here comes the first race, and it's my age division. So, I mean, it's James, Donnie, trying to think all the guys that won all the time. But you get my point. There's a couple of them that you knew you weren't going to beat. But the point is you're at the line, and we're like, all right, I really don't remember what happened after this first turn, but we're going to, you know, have a go at it, Dad. And we say a little prayer. I jump off the line, and I pull the whole shot. I'll never forget this because I pulled the whole shot, and about halfway down the straightaway, you're thinking, oh, my God, I mean, I've got them behind me right now. What do I do? And what do you think
You look
I
like,
do?
what's the thing where Captain Jack Sparrow's running down the shore with everybody chasing him? That's what it
Exactly.
felt like.
except for the twist throttle, one arm on the twist throttle, doing that same dance. And I remember getting in there, settle down the first turn, hit my body weight forward, and the first thing I do is wash the front end. Right from the inside to about 6 feet up the embankment of the middle of the turn. And
You got
right as I'm
42
thinking to
other
myself,
mini
you
bikes.
better get you better get up. I didn't get to up. Stewart literally ran my ass over from right ball sack to left shoulder. And I mean, you know, to this day, I still run like a little. I still run like a little, you know, hair cap on my balls, because any place that Stewart touches you, you got to make sure you have to wash again, which is really awkward during intercourse. So we won't go that far. The point of the matter is I had these, you know, knobbies up my body for probably 2 or 3 days after, and I'm, you know, continuing. I got up, and at this point, I'm probably 35 riders in, maybe 40 riders, like dead last, like anything. It was just a packed house, and I remember, you know, it's probably lap like, I don't know, 4 or 5, and I hear some screaming ass 80, because back then it was all 2 strokes. There was no 4 strokes involved. And as I hear this screaming 80 behind me, we're going up that quad in the back, and I don't know if it's still a quad, but it was back then. And I was doubling because I was, you know what? And James just hits this thing quads over me, and I'm like, talk about rubbing it in, mother, you know.
Not only did he run
I'm
your
not gonna
ass
say
over,
it.
he literally jumped over your ass.
Jumped over me. I got to see the bottom of his fucking of his freaking KX80. I apologize.
You
for the
can
cursing.
cuss all you fuck you want.
I know I'm bad about it. But yeah, make a long story short, I think that's probably the best story about James Stewart that anyone can probably, you know, be them there themselves, because everyone knows how it is. You pull the whole shot, you wash the front end, and then the guy that you wish you could beat just runs you over and then jumps over you on top of it. I was ready to quit right then.
Broke your heart.
Yeah. So what?
Definitely broke my heart.
So what story you got with us? Which one? I don't want to say it. And
I know
influence
which one that you want to hear, so I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. We used to ride around the house a lot, and that same bike you were talking about.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to do this one, but okay, go ahead.
And pro circuit for the motor, and, you know, I mean, I thought I was a badass. At one point, I jumped that bike in freestyle. You know that.
Yep.
And we pull over the side of the road, and Anthony says, all right, let's do a whole shot. When this car passes us, that's the gate dropping. Well, needless
So when
to
you
say,
see the
Anthony
car,
got me by a couple inches. You know, what do you think?
I was just explaining to Coleman. Yeah, when the car's passing you, that's the gate drop. Go.
Derp.
Yeah.
Yep. So Anthony got me by a couple inches or so, something like that. And I'm not going to lie, to this day, he still brings up that particular hole shot practice on the side of the road in that little PC Miller, you know, dirt pit that we were in. to let me know that he's better than me and will always be better than
Don't
me.
they always go and pull out the one glory story
Well,
where they actually beat you? Only time, but he gonna rub it in.
what he's not leading up to
So
it is
then,
up to
just
that.
so you know, continuously through our life, I would, like the sponsor cup, for instance. Homeboy, is in probably next to last place. I went down right at the start. I finally catch him, and I literally catch him looking back. And as soon as he sees it's me, all of a sudden he goes 2 cranks up to make sure I don't get nowhere near him.
No, he ain't passing. No. So to backtrack a little bit, how much did you guys spend in extra on that bike? 10 grand?
Oh,
the bike plus 10
let's
grand?
not do that. That hurts.
No, I'm just saying. That's what it was. He would brag about, we got 10 grand into this bike. It's got PC suspension. It's got PC motor. Ain't nobody going to pull me off the line. Nobody's going to get a whole shot over me. And on a stock bike, I got a whole shot. So, of course, I'm rubbing that in. But since that day, with the rub-in has been, hey, every time we've lined up on a gate, you never beat me. You'll be like, man, I was faster in this one practice. I'm like, that's not a gate, bro. That's not a race.
Yeah,
that's a practice.
That's a practice.
And even if it was in a race, I'd be like, yeah, but last race, no, it don't matter because that one time, I got you.
That's just like him. Yeah, but that one time, at band camp,
Yeah. I always know it's coming. You know what I mean? Whether he's wearing a tutu or a damn Speedo or whatever he's got on, he's got that just locked in place, ready to shoot at me if I do anything wrong.
Oh, yeah, man.
No, Level's
That's
awesome.
it,
Like, since I moved up in 07, almost every year or every other year, we'll go down and do like a dude's trip. We talked about it on the last show, and we always end up at his house because he lives 30 minutes from Croom. I don't know if you've ever been to Croom.
No, I need to go.
Yeah, 2,200 acres of just open riding. I mean, John, can we ever get lost in that place? We know every inch of that place.
I need to go with somebody that knows the place.
Because I get stupid sometimes, but you're right. Most of the time, no. And,
No. And if you're
so
like,
me
wait,
every
where
now
am
and
I?
then,
Within 3 minutes, you know exactly where you are.
yeah, exactly.
What
It's
Florida is he from?
Spring Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, real close to Dade City,
north of Tampa.
north of Tampa, about 30 minutes.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So,
what I have to highlight is every time you guys come down, you come down when I haven't been riding in a while. And then you give me a bike to ride, and I end up doing jumps and stupid things that I shouldn't do. And
He'll
then you
do
guys
shit
don't
that
want
we
to
won't
follow
do.
me.
I like this guy.
I want to understand. Y'all never want to follow me up these jumps. How come that is?
hey, if anybody's going to do it out of the crew, I usually do it. But there's times where I'm just like, man, I got a 7-hour drive home the next day. I don't know if I want to be busted up from crew. It's usually what it comes down
you're
to.
Right. You're right. And I haven't hit that particular step up in probably 2 years, and then I go for it on your bike and then feel bad about it later.
Yeah, or you crack Brandon's piston.
Well, wait a minute. That is a KTM problem. That is not a level problem.
Yeah, he's riding
There's no way
Brandon's
you put
bike.
that one on me, Paul.
The
I thought that thing had an electrical problem at first, so y'all sent me the picture the next day. I'm like, oh, wait, nope, that's a
that was cracked piston.
Whoops, all compression gone.
Yeah, we talked about that one on the last show, but no, we've always had good times. We got many more to come, and Level's always down to ride. And also, that's another reason why you go and do that stupid shit is you're all geeked up and built up because you hadn't ridden in a while, and you're like, I gotta go fucking get all this shit out of me.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I feel his pain.
Yeah, I don't know why sometimes I do that stuff, but hey, I think that's just part of my personnel at this point.
Fucking Hitchcock's in the chat now talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, I had to just call in and give you a little support.
No, I appreciate it, man. Hey, and you got entries into a YZ250 giveaway I'm doing by calling in, bro. So who knows? Maybe you'll be off that electric shit and back onto a real, dinosaur burning monster.
I am never getting off electric again. Let me tell you why. No more.
Oh, I know. Wait, don't tell me. I know why. Because you like the dildo that it comes with that locks you into place when you're riding it.
Shit. I like reverse. So I like never servicing nothing ever again. I'm a lazy. You know what, man? Come on.
No, but dude, the electric bikes, they're coming. They're a blast. He's got like the badass sir on, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I probably need to go get one of those Vargs, but I just know I'll end up hurt all the time if I would get a Varg.
Yes, you will. Well, I need to get you up in the studio one time. We were texting about this a few days ago or whatever. But yeah, dude, we need to get you in because we can, just like Coco and I here been cracking up, we can be going at it for forever. But I'm going to let you go, man.
I would love to take a trip up just for this reason.
Yep. All right, bro.
Hey, man, it was great talking to y'all either way. You have a great show.
Thank you.
All right. See you, bud.
Later.
Bye. Love that dude. Don't say that to you enough, man. All right. Back
to our sponsors.
We're going to back it up just a few seconds.
Their certified technicians ensure top-notch service, whether it's air conditioning, heating systems, or indoor air quality solutions. Serving Georgia since 1999, they prioritize customer satisfaction with prompt, reliable service at competitive rates. Routine maintenance to emergency repairs. Trust Innovative Mechanical LLC for all your HVAC needs. Give them a call at 770-726-7407 or visit innovativemechanical.llc.com to schedule service and experience unparalleled comfort today.
All right, we're back. Definitely get hooked up with those guys. Great group of guys. Chad, I'm going to get him on the show soon. Him and our buddy Rolando are a hoot. All right, we're going to go roll into our next segment, which is assholes on the internet. I love this one because here's the reality. No matter what you do, you could be the most perfect person in the world. And if somebody's going to talk shit about you.
Oh, yeah.
And what really cracks me up is the people that get upset by it. I fucking love it. I think it's hilarious.
Well, you are a little bit of a shit stirrer.
Well, yeah,
I have to say, the Sorg stuff for a while, I've told a lot of them, they go, man, that son of a bitch, boy, he's a motherfucker, boy. He an asshole, boy. Some bitch say that shit on the internet, man. I'm like, you need to know him.
Yeah.
He do that shit because he like to get a reaction out of people like you. And when you react like that, I was like, believe me, I started to smart off to him 1 or 2 times, and I'm like,
I'm going to stop.
wait a second. I know what he's doing now. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
that's what you got to know.
So I posted in Reddit before the first episodes, just trying to spread the word about the show, right?
Yeah.
And some dude just comes out with, "Get a job." That was the only comment he had. Get a job.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever. I've got a damn good paying job. This is just for the hell of it. I'm not gonna make any money on this thing.
Yeah. Get a job.
Get a job.
You know, I like it's how he's got it all in all caps.
And actually, to be fair, that was in a cruiser group. So you know the dude's probably just got one of those big, like, burly Santa Claus looking things that gut out to here, and he's probably got a Marlboro Red in there and just on his phone like, fuck this guy making a show about motorcycles, letting people share their story. Get a job, asshole.
I can see him.
Yeah.
He's the kind probably got a cigarette hanging out of one side of his mouth reading the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. If he can find a copy of a paper anymore. That's it.
All right. On to the next one. So this one is the segment about stolen bikes. I talked about it on the last show and probably talked about it every show.
What, they grabbed both of them?
No, they only got the one bike, but
which one?
This dude, Blake Weaver, him and his chick have a shared Facebook group that we talked on the phone. I definitely gave him shit about that, but he.
Oh yeah.
But he, So this is one of those classic things where posted for sale on Facebook Marketplace. He gets hit up. Hey, why don't you come to Decatur? I'll pay you retail for your bike and gasoline. People, I'm telling you right now, if somebody is telling you to drive to them, unless you give them the nearest police station to where they are talking about, you don't go to them.
Nope.
Because as soon as you give them the police station address and say, hey, this is really close to where you want to meet, why don't you meet me here? Guess what? You never hear from them anymore because they're going to steal your shit.
Yep.
So if somebody is telling you that, and the sad thing is it happens all the time. I don't know how people still are falling for it, but if I can somehow share the word about this, because it doesn't just happen in Atlanta. It happens in every single major city. And, dude, just the scams of the things that people do, what they do, it's relying on the normal person's good nature.
Yep.
And that's exactly what, when I talk to him, he's like, yeah, I'm just an all-around trustworthy person, and I trust the guy. And what had happened in this situation is the dude, he was like, hey, you're not riding my bike without giving me the money. And he was like, man, come on, I'm just riding around the street. He's like, no, you're not getting on this bike without the money. So the dude took out a wad of cash and threw it on his trailer, so the guy had to go get it. By the time the guy goes to get it off the trailer, he's gone. Counterfeit bills. So you get the money before you unload the bike. It's $20 or so, probably less than that at Staples. You get a pin that checks it. But even then, you got to be careful because they can take a $5 bill, and they can wash it and print it on a $100 bill and make it look like that, and you take the pin to it, and it still looks like it. So you still have to be smart about this kind of shit. So people, be smart with this shit. And also, get insurance on your bikes.
Yep.
My 3 bikes that were stolen, a 2020 250F, 23 450, and a 24 450. No, I don't care, because insurance paid me $31,000 for all 3 of them. How the fuck do you think I was able to get this shit going?
Well, okay.
So, yeah. I still have to buy my next bikes once I can ride again. But still, insurance is cheap. It's like $200 a year, and then an additional bike is like, it's super cheap. Get insurance on your bikes. Get insurance on your bikes.
Yeah.
Like, you're stupid if you don't get it, because it can get stolen at any time.
Well, anytime too. I don't.
Oh, and to add on to the story, the dude found it. So he sent me this picture where he found that guy posted it back for sale or did something with it, because he recognized it. The only thing that was really different is there was like a Supreme sticker on there, or there was some way that he knew it was his bike. Instead of being smart about it and getting with the local police, he let his emotions get the best of him, and he reached out to the guy. That's my stolen bike, or was trying to meet up with him, and the guy was figured it out. Don't let your emotions take over in these situations. Like, take a step back, take a breather. I know you're pissed, but take a breather. Get your buddy.
By that time, I'm
get
going to
with
act
the
like
police.
I know what you're saying. I know my ass. You ever steal from me like that?
I know, but then he's never going to get it back.
No,
more than likely, you know
I
what
don't
mean?
care about getting back, but I'm going to act like I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to snuff your ass. I don't
You
care.
say that, but
No,
dude, do you want to spend the rest of your life in jail for getting payback for something that was $5,000? It's not worth it.
Well, I know what you're saying, but you want to know something? Sometimes people like that need to be taught a lesson. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Find your sister, take her out on a nice date, break her heart. All right? That's what you do to get them back.
Yeah.
Or take her out on the dance floor.
I work hard for something like that. You steal from me. Or I'm going to beat you up with a baseball bat, break your kneecaps and shit. I may not kill you, but you're going to wish you was dead when I get done with your ass. But
it ain't worth it, because what they would end up suing your ass for and pressing charges and all the other shit, it's not worth it. Like, just be smart about it. If something like that happens,
I don't fall for stuff like that, especially when
that's the start of it. Don't let your emotions get the best of you.
Fall for that crap.
Especially
Decatur.
Yeah. Decatur where it's greater.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this next one is video viewers sent in. So John Popham.
Oh,
this is, I believe, his nephew Trey Chip, his brother. That's his kid. John sent me this a while back, and it's just too damn funny. And since he's a minor, I had to get parental consent on it. But it's pretty funny. Let's give this thing a laugh or a watch.
Oh, my dick. Oh, no. Oh. 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 Oh.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh, my God.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
How many times we smashed our boys on the gas tank?
God. That looked like a double bounce. Like, pow, pow,
Yeah.
oh,
Like it hit the left ball, and then it got the right ball.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing worse than that race, man.
And then and you don't know, like, what if this was the start of the race? You got like an hour and a half to go, hour 45 minutes to go, and they're just up in here, just hurting.
I'll never forget the first time I really did that. Come hot into a turn. You know how you come in there, you get up on the gas tank, you got that foot stuck out. Got that foot stuck out like this. You lay it up in there. Pow! I was like all the way up on the gas tank, and man, I hit some roots, and I hopped up there. Oh man, smashed the old beans, and you're like, yep, have to pull over, or you just like.
Well, for you got to be careful which side you put them on, right? Because they get caught, or do you just like suck them up with like?
Well,
tight
that's when you
spandex
start.
or whatever?
That's when you have to wear it. You have to wear the tighter fitting underwear. I remember asking my dad about that once I got older. I said, "Dad, when you got about this age, did your shit droop too?"
I know.
That's part of it, son. Yeah.
So that the bike that got stolen, the 250F, was my woods bike, the 2020, and I ended up getting one of those Cherbis tanks. It was like a 2.6 that stuck up
Yes.
and over. I got rid of that bitch after 2 races because there was about 4 different times that just with little things too, or you'd go to sit down in the normal pocket and it just hit you right.
I had
oh.
that. What I was talking about is I did it on that CRF 450. I had that Serbi's large tank on it, so I could race off road with it and go. Pow!
I wonder how often that happens with female riders, just smashing their lady beans while riding. Like, does that happen often? Does it hurt? Feel good? What's going on with that? We need to know.
No, we need to know. I know a person or two. I'll probably call find out about
We
that.
got to hit up Michelle with 1L.
Yeah. Oh, she would tell me straight. Oh, she hears some of this shit. She go, I'll get a call.
Ain't no bad talking about her.
No girl that can ride a bike like that.
All right, so we're going to go on to our next segment, which is brought to you by...
These stories are brought to you by On-Road Riders. Get on the road safely with On-Road Riders. They offer Georgia-certified training through the Motorcycle Safety Foundation Basic Rider Course on both 2-wheels and 3-wheel motorcycles, enabling you to obtain your motorcycle license hassle-free. Their mission is to instill essential skills for safe motorcycle operation and save lives. You'll learn from certified coaches covering everything from clutch friction zone techniques to obstacle avoidance. They currently have 2 convenient locations, Mountain Motorsports in Conyers and Georgia's Best Fireworks in Villageville. At just 16 years old, with parental consent, you can enroll and upon a successful completion, receive a waiver for your Georgia DDS motorcycle license. Visit onroadriders.com to start riding safely today.
All right. Thanks for that, On-Road Riders. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to go through the MSF course to get your license? No? You just went and took your test?
I'm old school.
So when I was 15, a guy that lit like that street I was on kind of was at a dead end or like catty corner. My house was here. The guy that lived there was actually an MSF instructor. So at like 15 and a half or 6 months after you had your permit, you could go do the MSF course. So I literally just jumped in his car.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a pretty cool little course.
I have to say, man, I'm one of them guys, man, I had a bike, like since I was like 6 or 7. So I grew up on it, but I learned.
I grew up racing at 3. But
I learned when I was like 13, 14 years old. My dad ended up getting a gold wing.
Yeah.
All right. And we used to have the property up in the mountains up in LJ. It was Beaver Lake Estates back then, but it's Kusawati something or another up there now, estates. But anyway, it was a development. Private. You didn't have to have a license there. So my dad told me, he goes, because he got tired of driving me all over this place. He said, I tell you what, he goes, you learn how to ride this gold wing right here. You learn how to balance yourself. He said, you can ride it all over. I was 14.
Oh, okay.
13, 14 years old, something like that. I mean, I ain't made it to high school. I was still in middle school.
Yeah.
So he goes, and it was a 76 GL 1000.
That's before all the windjammers?
It actually had an added windjammer.
Okay.
It was yellow. If you look those up, Honda had a yellow color back in the day. I'll never forget this bike. So once I learned how to ride this thing, he bought it from a buddy of mine's dad that lived across the street. Well, once we learned how to ride that damn thing.
Those things are fucking fast.
Yes. Man, we used to sneak that bitch out, man, when we were like 14, 15 years old. I didn't have the nuts to steal the car or take the car out because I knew my mom's going to kill me. Oh, but you got the nuts to take the motorcycle out at nighttime. Oh, yeah. Man, me and my buddies, man, we would wait till everybody went to sleep. He'd go, hey, man, let's take the wing out.
One steering, one pushing to your ass.
Yes. We'd take that sumbitch and we would push it down the driveway and up the street together. We'd hop on that bitch in Mill Street, fire it up, and we would take off and ride.
Yeah.
So when I got my license, as we were talking about, me and the first wife was in the process of building a house. And we were living with her parents. Well, he was an avid rider. He had a Harley, but he wanted to go get his license again because he only had the learner's permit deal. Well, he went to go get it. I'll never forget, he come home. He was embarrassed. He trailered the damn thing over there, all that shit. Everybody else, he was the only one that shows up trailering. Everybody else ride their shit to the thing. So he's up there in Cobb County, up there off of County Services Road, whatever it is now. He's testing. He pulls up. He gets like 3 or 4 minutes in a test. He's nervous as shit. I'll never forget. He comes home. He drops the fucking bike. in the middle of the fucking test. Pow! He comes
And he's
home.
been riding for a while.
Yeah, and he comes home all nervous, and he says, "Oh, son, I don't know if you're going to be able to pass that test." I said, "I'll go take that son of a bitch, and I'll pass it first shot." So I had my test. I think I went a day or two later. I went over there. No shit. I went over there. I already had a Harley, and I already had my learner's license, the legit. But I knew how to ride good. I went over there, passed the test. The lady told me, she goes, "Congratulations, Mr. Owens." She goes, "You're the second high score of the day." I was like, "Well, what did I do wrong?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Well, I'm not." She goes, "You did very good. Second high score of the day. Take this right here and go inside." I was like, "Shit." So I come home, and I'm telling you, they were all waiting at the door. They were like, "Oh, they was expecting me to fail." I walked in. They were like, "So what happened?" I was like, pulled up my license. I said, "Second high score of the day." Stuck it in my pocket like that there. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. That's how I learned how to ride. Just growing up, I never went to one of those courses. My sister did, though. My sister has a license.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she took the course and got her license and stuff. So she did. Actually got to ride the first time I went out
your
west.
sister that I was dancing with?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my life leaves me.
Yeah,
go
there
ride
you go.
together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yep,
I
yep.
mean,
We'll
well,
all get to go across the country together. Brother-in-law.
yeah, man, we'll do it, man. Shit. You're going to have to talk to her about that, man.
She's single?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's listen to some of these stories people send in. But again, I'm going to reiterate. Don't wait to send in a story. If you got a funny story, 8 minutes is plenty of time to call one. And on top of that, let's say that you got a little bit longer and you're phone savvy. Android, iPhones all have a phone recorder app. You can record it on your phone. If you're like, "Shit, I fucked up," start it over, and then you can just send it to me on my website. Go to campfiremotostories.com. Select the type of striding story, a prank, or actually like street bike, cruiser, dirt bike, off-road, blah, blah, blah. And then prank, good ride through this bad crash, whatever. Hit send. Simple as that. You get points for any story you send me. You get an entry into the bike.
Now, is this audio only, or is it like video and audio?
So, I mean, if I get to hear one, because hoping I don't get to the point where I'm just so overwhelmed I can't listen to them. But honestly, all I do when I work at home is listen to podcasts. So if I'm listening to the stories and I'm funneling through which ones I'm going to make work, which ones I won't, for the most part, I feel like I'm going to play them. But yeah, if somebody, like if I reach out or they say in there I've got a good video of it, then I think actually there might be a thing like I have a video to go along with this. If not, I'll add it into my website. By the way, let's play this next story. All right, let's listen to this. We're going to go silent. Once we're done with it, we're going to come back and we'll talk about it, see if it jogs any of our memories.
So, Campfire Moto Stories. Let's see. I remember my first dirt bike back in about 82 or 83. It was a Kenton 175 Sax engine, a deck finder. Yeah, that was one of those with virtually no suspension. I bought it and then immediately went out and raced a hare scramble at the Florida Trail Riders down in Central Florida. And I remember I was thinking, no, this can't be that difficult. Well, there was the fuel stop set up by the campground and timing area, and my wife sat there with our daughter and waited patiently while I came around for all of about probably, I think it was about 3 laps, maybe 4 laps. And by the time I got done with my first race, it was let me see, everybody was gone. The only one sitting there was my wife and my daughter, and they were patiently waving me on and cheering me on, and everyone, all the scorers had already gone home. They handed out the trophies. The sweep had already come through and picked up the arrows, and there I was. But I finished the race, and it was pretty exciting. That's my first set of riding gear was a old set of Harley Davidson riding gear. It was textile pants that were virtually, now let me see, I wouldn't say waterproof. They were stiff. They weren't movable. It was an interesting time. But that was then. This is now. Technology is a whole lot better. I'd like to think I'm a lot faster, but let's face it, I'm a whole lot older, so I'm probably a lot slower, and everyone would probably still be gone.
Oh, we lost it. So it actually cut off. So the other phone system I have, that one came in with it, and there was like a 2 minute. So that's why I went to the other phone system. We recorded for 8 minutes. So, but yeah, I wanted to play that one because I felt like this is your era. You would have some stories from old Pintons or some old riding gear like that. What did that jog up?
Man, I never had a new bike, seriously, till I was 40 plus years old. My first real brand new bike I bought from Highland Park. It was a 2012 300 XC. And I have to say, that sumbitch was probably one of the best bikes I ever. Man, I wore that bitch out. I think I put 4 pistons in it. It had 358 hours on it. And the damn still had the stock bottom in it. And I had 4. And the guy out there, Eric, out there that builds the bike stuff, he goes, I measured that. So he says, I couldn't believe it. He goes, it was in spec. He goes, you damn sure don't bounce it off a damn rev limiter. He goes, piston number 4. He goes, but next time you're going to have to put the crank in this bitch and everything.
So you sold it?
Yeah. So I sold it to some dude, and he never rode much like I did. And to this day, I think he's still riding it. And then I started buying my bikes from old Bob up here, and that was fun. But
what about old stuff? Did you get to ever ride in the old Pintons like you were talking about?
Never rode a Pinton. Had a cat or two that lived on the street that had them. You remember Pinton, if I'm not mistaken? I think that's what became KTM.
I believe you're right.
I think that's right. My first bike I had, real bike, was a 71 Honda SL70.
Oh, yeah.
The pipe come out and come down like under the foot peg, and then come back like that. I remember that. Then I got real good at that. That bike was a little older. My dad bought it. I had a Honda 50.
Which one?
A Honda 76. It was 1976.
Like an MR50?
Or Honda little 50. Little 50 with the headlight on it, tail light.
A Trail 50.
Yes, Trail 50.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Red with the black stuff on the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if I ever...
Those things would go up a fucking tree if you wanted them to.
And I rode everywhere, but it just got, I outgrew it. So I went to the 70. After I had that for a while, I know the kid across the street, man, I always used to hate that kid because he had a 1978 YZ80 with the mono shock. Remember they came out with that shit like 76, 77, somewhere around there. I think it was 77 when the mono shock come out. Somewhere around there.
That sounds right.
But he had one of those, and I remember I was like, God dang, I had something like that. Well, we didn't have that kind of money growing up, man. So it was like, my dad found this deal on some bikes. He found a 76 Honda XL 125.
Okay.
It was an orange tank, metal tank.
Still had a headlight.
Yeah, still had the headlight. Still had a little miniature Speedo on it.
Yeah.
All the blinkers and stuff like that. And then for me, neighbor up street had a bunch of bikes he was getting rid of. He had like 3 or 4 in the basement. And I remember my dad made a deal. He bought a Honda CB 350.
Oh, yeah. The CB 354?
Yes.
One? Yep. I had one in high school.
Yep, he had that. He bought that. Then he bought this Kawasaki LTZ90 or something like that. It was a straight up, straight street bike.
Yep,
2-stroke. And then he had a 76 Suzuki TS 125.
Really?
And that was a 2-stroke. Had the big old fat seat on it with a little button. You push a little clicker, and you flip the seat up, and you poured the 2-stroke oil.
Flipped onto the side, right?
Yep, flipped up sideways. You poured the 2-stroke oil in the tank, and you put the gas, metal tank, metal fenders.
They're old metal.
Oh, yeah, man. And I rode the shit out of it.
You don't want to rack your nuts on those things.
No. And I can tell you, that was when this was early 80s. I'd say this is probably 81, 82, 83, those years. And they were cutting Thornton Road Extension, that runs through Hiram down towards crosses Thornton Road, goes out Thornton Road, everything. They were building that when I was a kid. Every summer, I think for 2 or 3 summers, every day, me and there was like 6 or 7 of us that met at the bottom of the street. Rule of thumb, you fill up, eat your breakfast, do that. You fill your tank up with gas. You meet at the sewer caps. We met in the middle of the road at the sewer caps. Everybody knew what time to meet there. We would go ride till we got hungry. We'd come back and eat, fill the tanks up again, and take back off. And we did that for summers on end, just riding. We had trails cut at the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I grew up on all that old shit. Progressed on, then I tell you the funnest old bike I ever had that I kept probably the longest. I kept it 10 years. I got it when I was 21. An 83 Honda XR 500.
Oh, yeah.
With twin.
Still air cooled.
Yeah, air cooled, twin
Orange.
carburetors. Yep. Orange. That mother freaker had a goddamn compression release up there on the thing.
Yep.
Man, if you didn't know what she's doing, that bitch would launch you back off the damn bike. That thing must have weighed 3.
I think their compression is worse than the ones on this.
Yes.
For
I
sure.
kid you not. I think that son bitch probably weighed every bit of 280, 300 fucking pounds. That thing was
We could just Google something.
Yeah, hey. I'm just taking a wild guess, but I'm telling you. Then after that, that's when I moved up to the real world. And that's when I started riding a lot. I got a DRZ 400.
Oh, God.
Bought a
pigs. I hate those things.
2000 model. Hey, man, I beat on that thing and beat on it, man. I kept that damn thing for almost about 7 or 8 years. And that was when I bought that CR 450. I kept it for about 2 years. Then I bought the brand new bike. So that's my transition to bikes through my life.
So I think I didn't ever have good luck with the DRZ 400s because I always got the Supermoto versions. And I don't think they can stand that high of RPM with that wheel weight. I feel like that's what, because there's plenty of people I know with the off-road version or the dual sport, hardly have any problems with it. Almost everybody I know with the Supermoto at some point
I think mine was the 400S.
Yeah.
Well,
the SM is the Supermoto one. But yeah, I just had some bad luck with those kind of things.
It might have been the rider.
Yeah,
maintenance program.
Yeah, it was probably
the
shitty
maintenance
mechanic.
program. Yeah, some maintenance program.
What happened was I had Bob Eisenacher. Was that Bob?
Oh,
yeah. I think it was Bob Eisenacher.
Him or his younger brother?
No, well, Billy. I wish Billy would have been working on it, but Bob Eisenacher. That's who was working on it.
Yes.
Let's listen to this next one. This is actually, I know this dude, Jaron Lindell. Do you know the Lindells?
I think I do.
They're real well known in the motocross, like Georgia area.
Okay.
Been around forever. Their dad used to race Supercross. I'm going to try to maybe get them in for the next show. Which reminds me, the next show that is planned for 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be on a cruise. So I'm not going to be able to do a live show. I'm going to try to pre-record, and then I'm going to show my dad how to do all this, and then it'll go live like at the time frame. So live callers you won't be able to call in, but everything else should be just the same. So I'm going to try to get them in, or maybe a few other people I've been talking to, try to get them in before then. That way I still get a show. Because I want to keep this up where it's every 2 weeks. I do an episode. It just, I want to do it too. It's a lot of fun. So let's listen to what Jaron has to say.
Hello, my name's Jaron Lindell. I am from Powder Springs, Georgia. And the story's not so much about me, but it's about my old man, Rick Lindell, who y'all talked about on Campfire Moto Stories before. But Dad got a fresh custom painted helmet from a painter, and the painter brought the helmet out to the track. It wasn't Terry. This was, I think, before Dad and Terry even knew each other or anything. But guy brought the helmet out to the track, brings it to Dad, and lets Dad see his work and everything. Dad's pumped about it, loves the lid and everything, looks gorgeous. And you know, they always say you're supposed to put a scratch in a custom painted helmet, you know, before you put it on your head. So the first scratch happens when your head's not in the helmet. Well, Dad took that real literal and took the helmet from the painter and not so much dropped it in the rocks, but kind of put it down in the rocks and gave it a nice little scuff on top of the lid. And he came up and said the look on the painter's face was just pure befuddlement, man. I think he kind of pissed the painter off with that one, which I, completely understand. But just thought that'd be a good little story for Campfire Moto Stories, man. I hope y'all keep progressing and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks, Jaron. Appreciate you calling in and sharing that. Jaron and Rick are just absolutely good people, but I'm just going to say it. I think if you take a brand new helmet and throw it on the ground in any way, shape, or form, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest tradition to me ever. I understand people or tradition, superstition.
Oh, yeah.
I understand people have their superstitions. No, it ain't going to matter. If you're going to wad up, you're going to wad up.
Oh, yeah.
It does not. That's like that whole don't say you're going out for one last ride.
Oh,
bullshit. Look, and you might feel that this is accurate, but the reason why people crash on the last ride is the track or the trail is the most beat up. You're the most tired. It's most likely when you're going to crash. It has nothing to do with saying I'm going to go out for one more ride. Nothing to do with that.
Think about it. Most of the time, it is that man, I decided to go one more. Fucked up, wadded it up. That's exactly what happens. I've been that guy.
Hey, when I blew my knee out, it was on the last lap of Sorks. I didn't hurt it because I said, I'm going to do one more lap. No, I heard it because I was tired. I had 3 miles to go.
But, you know,
the trail was the most beat up as it was.
Usually, that's when everybody says, oh, motorcycles are dangerous. I'm like, yeah, they are. But you know what's more dangerous is you making stupid mistakes. 90% of everybody's fucking mess ups, getting hurt. You can track back if you're honest with yourself.
Yes,
you can track back.
100%.
Man, I shouldn't have cracked that throttle at that time.
Yeah.
Damn it, I should have. Every time, it's one of those. Every time I've damn fucked up. Hell, when I broke my collarbone, man, right there before I quit racing for a little bit, same thing. I felt hot. I was like, fuck yeah. And you see, and you know somebody, you see the helmet, and you see they in your class, and you start hitting the gas, and next thing you know, boom.
Yep. No, I'm glad we see eye to eye on that. So, oh, my wife's here. Hey, what's up? What's up, B? Our kid's here too. Come here. Come give me a hug.
What up?
You want to put a headset on? Say hey. We're actually gonna play your story that you sent to me. Hey, buddy. You have a good time at dinner? The honey chicken place. That sounds good. We're about to wrap up the show, B. I'll come in and tuck you in, all right? Go get jammies on and brush teeth. Cute kid, right?
Oh yeah,
gets it all from me.
I was about to say
100% of it.
I was about to say I think she might have fooled around with the milkman.
No,
is she out? Is she gone?
So we had to do IVF to get him. So like the in vitro, where they actually go into a cup and then she gets eggs taken out. They makes it into a pot, I think, and then they throw it in. So shit was expensive.
Yeah.
You know the interesting thing about this, and I actually knew this before we went down this path, is we chose him. Like. But they were like, you want a girl or you want a boy?
No,
we're like, well, let's try for a boy first. If we want to go again, we'll have a girl. And
don't you get like 2 shots? They pull 2 eggs.
No,
and
we've got 8 in the freezer still. If we want to have some more.
Damn.
So yeah, if you want to pop one in, let me know.
I'm a little too old for that now.
But yeah, so if he's not mine, I better get some money because I spent a lot of money. There's a mix up in the thing.
Well, I was about to say they might have pulled the wrong cup. Motherfucker, get out of here.
You gotta. I'll show you pictures of me when I was younger. You'd be like, "Oh my God, he's a spitting image of me." So you know the son of a bitch is gonna be ugly when he. Poor guy. Yeah.
He gonna be hell on wheels though. That's for sure.
Actually, he's very smart and methodical. Not stupid like me, where I just like a
balls out.
Yeah, like he's very calculated, and if he's a little bit like I don't like this, he backs down. So.
That's when you make up the most time, man. Sketchy.
That's true. I'm just saying he might.
You got to ride on that ragged edge, man. Come on, man. That's how you do it.
Well, actually, very last segment we got. Well, actually, do we have anything more to add with the helmet story? You ever brought a helmet and done that kind of thing? I think I bantered about what I wanted to.
I paid too much damn money for my helmet.
That's the only custom helmet I've ever had.
I've never had that.
And the funny thing with how I ended up with that custom helmet is Matt Shue bought the helmet, took it to a custom helmet painter, painted it. We went mountain biking in Gainesville, Georgia, Matt and I, and we met some dude and picked up the helmet because that's where the dude's name was Cole up in that area. And Matt's in my truck. He's in my passenger seat. He goes to put the helmet on, and he goes, oh, no. I said, what? He goes, the helmet's too big for me.
He never put it on before he had it custom painted. So he got a stupid good deal on the helmet, and he was like, "Look, give me this for the helmet." So I think he gave him like $200 for the helmet, and then I paid Cole an extra $100 to just put my last name over it, over where it had his name, my number over where it had his number. On the front it said like shoe. I had him put this space for rent right at the front. So that's my only custom lid, but it's a pretty good story how I ended up acquiring that thing. So I think we're going to wrap up the show. We're going to play my kid's story that may or may not be made up. I just kind of want to remind you guys again, don't wait. Call in anytime. The number's right there, 844-789-2367. Send in a good story. Like, you don't have to spend any money to get entered in to a dirt bike drawing. Just send in stories, because that's the best part about riding, I think, is just getting to hear old stories. I love parking next to new people at tracks, or if I'm going riding to Durhamtown, you get to know them, you get to hear their stories. It's just a good time. So share your story. Everybody out there, there's billions of great motorcycle stories out there. Let's get them out to people. Let them get a good time.
Hey, one more thing before we do. You know what? You know, it'd be cool. I just keep looking at this 500 over here, man.
No.
Come on. I want to hear that. Ping, 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 ping,
It'd take me 2 hours to get the thing running again. I put Marvel's Mystery Oil in the carb, so if I did one, it wouldn't be so bad. I need a new air filter. I am thinking, because in September I can ride again. They're, my God, Bird Moto's Winners Take Y'all podcast is doing, I can't remember the name, the Great Escape race on October 18th, 19th, and 20th in Bremen. It's an all-grass track. They're doing like a vintage and modern sport on Saturday.
Oh, damn.
And they're doing modern bikes on Sunday. I might break that out for that. So we'll see.
Okay, that's a nasty son of a bitch.
But Joe Antonelli, that was on the show last time, he's been pestering me about it for about 10 years to ride that thing. So I told him I might let him race that in one of the classes. But the thing is too nice to ride. Is
I know,
problem.
but I'm just saying, man.
That thing probably has 30 hours on it.
I know, but it's a CR 500. Damn, that's an iconic, man. Man, did you ever used to watch those 500cc races back in the day?
I was a year old when that bike came out.
That's so terrible. We was full blown teenager when they come out. I think we was already just about out of school when them some bitches hit the market.
All right, well, let's play. You got anything else to add? Any other?
No, man, I had a good time. Yeah, man, I had a great time.
Glad you came in, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
We'll have you in at some other point with some of your other buddies.
Okay.
Get to hear their stories. You can shut the fuck up for the next one. How about that? All right, so we're going to go on mute. We're going to play my kid's story. We're going to play our outro. Anybody listening and watching, greatly appreciate it. Share this. Like, let your friends know about this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I ain't in this for the money. I'm in this just to let you guys get a chance to send your stories out. So send them on in. Till next time, see you later.
Once upon a time, me and Frankie went whoosh, whoosh, whoosh around the mountains. And
what were you on?
And we were on a street bike when we went whoosh so fast.
Whoa.
And a fox came out of nowhere and he jumped with Frankie on the street bike and they made new friends and then a duck came and like he jumped on the fox and we carried them home and we had fun with them at the beach and we came back and then that's the end.
Hey, can you tell me what the fox said?
The fox said, yeah.
You wanna talk about a leap thing? I have got started in the darkness. With cups and rolling dice, we get no fucks now. Who thinks twice, yeah? And when this whole thing slower, felt like it was trying to shake us. Held on to what we knew. It could try, but it never break us. It could try, but it never break us. Someday we wait. They talk about us coming up, like we can't function on this level. You laugh at who we are, you're the joke that's taken too far. So let's go crashing over, we won't let them take us down. We just keep getting closer, getting